Welcome back to the Red Wagon Inn, everybody. How are you all doing this fine Tuesday? I hope that you're having a good day and about to have a good stream with the rest of us here. Welcome, everybody, and it's time to get playing some more Dungeons and the Dragons. We've got a fun show planned for you tonight. Hopefully this time my dice actually work and I don't just throw them right in the garbage like I should have last time. So, again, because this is all brand new, I want to make sure that everybody knows who these fabulous people on my what would be left, but y'all's right are, so I want everybody to still introduce themselves. My name is Rybonator. I make stuff on D&D or on YouTube that I think is fun for tabletop gaming, and I'm kind of a dork about it. Let's hear about from you, Jackie.
Hello everyone, I am Jackie. I am one half of Moonbeam Menagerie. Shout out to Serenity, the other half. And then I am a coder by day and dice forger by night and D&D player.
Drew, hit us up.
Well, I'm Drew with Dicey Encounters. I make dice and a whole bunch of other fun, exciting things. I'm not too special.
Let's hear from the rats down under.
I'm a rat. My name's Bree, and I run Fortune Favors, and I'm also the social media manager here at Level Up Dice. So I do get to do lots of fun stuff like this.
Woo!
G'day, I'm also a rat. That sounds like the worst accent for an Australian accent. Honestly. Good day, mate. So I walk around the world in a haze, noticing everything that could be turned into dice, and then I turn it into dice. For Level Up Dice.
Fantastic. Awesome. So this is the crew that we got going on here. We're going to give a recap on what's happened in the past 2 sessions. However, before we do, I want to do a couple quick shout outs and a few cool pieces of art that people made from the last session that I got to throw up on there. So let's go ahead and start with that because that's awesome and I want to be able to show off these cool things that these people made. So if you remember last time, Bianca, or Pocket Bacon, which is the best name, made some art before. She made even more art based off of our porridge incident from last time. If you take a look on the screen, we have better porridge. It's porridge, but better. Which during the recap, I'm sure whoever has to do the recap will explain this, but prestidigitation makes food taste better, so we made porridge taste like porridge, but better. We also have a couple of arts coming from Safi-chan, who did all of the art for the characters. We now have a full body image of Xenia, so you can see what our lioness looks like. And we may have had that last time, or is that brand new and I'm just forgetting?
It was like secret. It wasn't. No, she didn't have the full version, like the PNG yet. So.
Fantastic. Well, now we have the full body version of Xenia, so you can see our fierce lioness cleric. And we also have a better porridge that was designed by Safi-chan here, and she's made the full box so that we can get some better porridge. We need merch out there. We need an actual like cereal box that we can sell that comes with like a dice as the prize inside of it. Let's just design our whole cereal.
Better porridge shirt for sure.
Absolutely. And then there was another one, which for some reason is eluding my pick here, but I will find that art. And while we find that art, I want to do 2 things. I want to shout out, last time we shouted out 2 very special ladies, both my and Drew's mother, who watched the stream with us. So that's fantastic. I know they're probably watching again tonight, but we have a 3rd lady to add to the night, and that's the Grannynator, as my grandma watched a little bit of it last night, and she's going to be watching in the end. So hello, Grannynator. We're all about the wholesome family. I actually had my aunt apparently ask my mom if she watched, if she could be called Auntinator. We're just going to get the whole family in there.
Just change the last name to Nader, are you done?
Nader, Ryan Nader.
Ryan Nader. Ooh, it sounds good.
It's pretty.
It does actually.
I might even combine Ryan and Brainerd Nader. Rybonator. How about that? I think that's. Or that's lame. That's stupid. Let's not do that. Right.
Is that where you got it from? Was it?
I think that's how my dad figured it out. Right. So let's get a recap going of what happened in the last session. The way we do recaps around here is all of us are going to take a d20 and roll it, and the lowest number has to do the session recap from the day before. If they do a good job, they get a point of inspiration. If I get a number and I do a bad job, the chat gives me a GFY point, which is a go yourself point, and they can use it at any point to, maybe make it so somebody steals an ultimate spear of ultimate power away from somebody. Who knows? So let's get to rolling. Everybody roll your d20s.
All right. right, gonna roll the one I'm part of the giveaway tonight.
Ooh.
I think I'm good. 17. What a
Oh,
waste of a good roll.
I know I'm
It's
good
me.
now. I have an
I knew it was
18.
going to be me.
What do you got, Bree?
An 8?
I got 18 on my giveaway
8,
one.
I
18.
got an 18 as well.
Ooh.
What do you get, Ryan?
I got a 9, actually. I just beat you.
Oh, man.
What do you have,
knew
Alex?
I got a 17.
Oh, well, looks like it's Bree's turn tonight. Do well or face the GFY.
Okay. I feel like you're going to get me back with the GFY.
Oh, I am.
So, last week on the Red Wagon Inn, Summer was pimping out her friends to the champion of the arena. She managed to get them into the house, not by means of, I don't know, the sneaky kind of methods, but instead
Those
to
means.
fight. Those means. Those means.
Yep.
Instead, it was so that they could fight against each other and against some other champions in his arena, and then sneaky little Salt, while they were attacking the other people and they were doing really well and they were winning, Salt was being a little mischievous and he was snatching some goodies, putting it in the hat, letting Penguin have some breaths. They were able to, with the help of almighty Chat Lord, get 2 GFYs in their favor and snag that hefty spear. And then with some very lucky rolls on our part, we're able to book it out of there and make their way to some seedy lodgings in town, where they ordered drinks that they didn't consume until the next day, and where they met some fancy dragonborn folk who Tim befriended by giving them better porridge. And then we paired up with those guys and made our way to the centipede train to try and get the heck out of the Scorch.
What was the name of the spear that you stole? I'll give you your
The
point if you remember it. Sun
The
Sphere.
Sphere.
Fantastic. You can take a point of inspiration. That was a great recap.
Don't ask me the name of the champion because I forgot.
It's in our
Oh.
notepad that I made for everyone.
You forgot the name of the mighty lizard folk?
No, I didn't.
Oh, didn't
That
you?
wasn't the
In the
question.
name of the
I'm gonna roll
7-page
deception.
detailed summary I wrote.
Yeah. I know what his name is. His name is Chat. Can you be faster with typing what his name is? Please, Chat God, save me.
Do I take it away? Do I take the point away?
His name's Keenak. I knew that the whole time.
Oh, wow. Look, good for you. I'll give it to you this time. Point of inspiration for you. Chat saved you because you prayed to the chat god.
I prayed to the Chat gods. Thank you, Chat.
Beautiful. Lovely recap. And here's the art I was looking for that shows the recap. This was made again by Safi Chan here, which shows all of our lovely heroes running away from the kind of pyramid palace where Keenak forced the fighters to fight from one another, with Salt and his mischievous little grin with the sun spear going down into the hat, which is essentially a bag of holding, followed by all of the other members of the cast. So absolutely love it. Safi Chan, every time she just makes fantastic art, and she turns it around so quickly. It's crazy. Last bit of business before we get started. For those of you watching tonight, we got 2 more sets of dice giveaways tonight. Bree, tell us which order we are giving them away, and I shall show the dice off.
I am so organized and have absolutely already set those up and know that we are first giving away Drew's.
Well, fantastic. Remember that better porridge we talked about earlier? Well, Drew, explain your dice.
I made better porridge, but dice.
A
Really
gift
good at
with words you are.
Long story short, they are dice with a clear outside. On the inside, they actually have like real oats. I did a live stream on my Instagram if you ever want to go watch it and see how I made them. And they got little strawberries in there, and I made better porridge.
I love the tiny little strawberries. They're absolutely dope. So make sure that you enter to give those away. And Jackie, see if you can match Drew's gift of gab and describe your dice for me.
It's plastic with glitter in it. No, I'm just kidding. I just took inspiration from the tones of Zinnia with her red and got some rose gold in there, and I just threw it all together, and this came out.
Absolutely wonderful. I'm excited for both of them. Two very different styles. One is awesome, and one is awesome because of strawberries. I love it. Right. I turned up the volume because it seems like everybody is saying that we needed a little bit of volume up on the other people's side besides me. So volume has gone up. Let me know if that needs to be changed or not. But thank you for the recap. And with that, are you all ready to get right into it?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Let's do it.
Let's do it then. Let's get started. So why don't y'all pull up a chair, grab a drink, and come hang out with us at the Red Wagon Inn. When we last left our heroes, quote unquote, our heroes, our thieves, whatever we want to be called. When we last left our heroes, they recently went out with Arakai and Rarbert, the black dragon folk, that are helping them commandeer a ride on the centibuses, the centipedes that are giant with like 10 foot by 10 foot little sections of a centipede that runs maybe about 200 feet long. They're essentially how you do group travel out in the Scorch. And the Scorch, as we might have talked about before, is essentially this huge, giant desert with no real way to survive in the desert other than luck. Those who are able to survive the desert find themselves making their way to Oasis or from Oasis elsewhere. And so without some sort of way to travel quickly or much needed preparation, surviving in the Scorch is doesn't really happen very often. So the group decided that they were going to get on with a centibus and convince the driver to let them on. Though when they showed up, the driver, who I did little hornbrimmed glasses looks like this last time, and somebody said, "Why are you doing glasses? You already have glasses." Fair point. I was going for the Coke bottle look. The driver was not going to let you on. However, with the gifted tongue of Bree, she was able to convince him to allow you all onto the centibus for a very cheap amount rather than having to provide protection for these things. Because behind you all, currently, maybe about half an hour from hitting you at this point is an extremely large sandstorm where you can see bits of lightning and thunder blazing off in the distance. It's very Mad Max, very, very terrifying coming from behind you all in the desert. You know that getting out of here quickly is ideal, though you are still, chances are, going to be pelted by this storm at some point. Bree also convinced him to give up his protective clothing to the rest of the group who didn't have it, and so he took off his scarf and head wrap, etc., and showed his like pockmarked face from years of being out in the desert in the sand and being pelted by sandstorms like this. But there was no sympathy there. We just took his stuff and started wearing it ourselves, as now he is essentially in just pants, and that is all, with his frail old body and large white beard holding onto the reins. With that, you all ran back to the spot where he allowed you to stay, which was right next to these three tiefling people that Zinnia has spotted several times throughout your traveling so far, all wearing armor of northern folk, very furred, very heavy, what would be intensely hot to be wearing out here in the Scorch right now. As you do, we're going to continue back with you all jumping up and getting onto the back of the centibus with the four of you, as well as Arakai and Rarbert on there, squeezing next to the tieflings who are, hey, what are you doing? And you're like, no, we've paid our fine, so they're like, we should have, I told you we should have paid more so that we didn't have to sit next to... What are you? As one of the tiefling males, again, two males, one female, all with horns kind of slicked back and black hair going down to their shoulders, look down at Salt and Summer. What are you?
Fabulous. That's what we are. What are you?
Apparently cramped. Scooch over.
Not by us.
That's true, as he looks up at Zinnia, team, and the two Dragonborns that have now crowded their small living space. I thought that we had already set off and that all the people were on the bus. I didn't think we would be making this journey in such confined spaces.
Yes, it's good
If
to
only
see
you'd
you don't
paid
have
more.
a problem with us.
Right. See, takes his head wrap that he had down, basically a scarf, and pulls up like the DIY Corona mask, where it just the scarf goes up and over your nose rather than like a medical mask. Pulls it up and over. See, turns and looks to you all. We'll keep to ours if you keep to yours.
I just snarl and show my my Leonin teeth.
Ooh, are you trying to intimidate him?
Yes.
Ooh, do it. Roll me
Yes,
an
I am.
intimidate.
Okay, giveaway die. Don't let me die.
Can I also have Atta help her out with that by
Oh.
giving a wonderful noise in the background?
Absolutely. So as you begin to kind of like snarl at him, Atta jumps up on the back of your shoulder there, Zinnia, just kind of pulling itself over. Atta, for those who don't know, is a skeleton jackal, as Team is a skeleton. Reaches up over the side of your shoulder and gives another like... What is he actually saying, Drew?
I don't know. I would assume he's probably saying something pretty nice. Kind of like when you hear German and it sounds really angry, but it's just not.
It's just not. As you snarl at
Kermit.
them, Atta jumps up on your shoulder and says,
Hey, are these guys bothering you, Zinnia? I'm happy to have a word with them if they need a word sometime. I'm happy to.
but it sounds it's just bone and guttural, in which case, Zinnia, you don't understand him either, so you're like, yeah, get him, Atta. Roll me a intimidation at advantage.
Advantage. Well, that was a 4, but then a 17.
Ooh, much better. I like that second number far better. I'm using some different dice tonight because screw what happened last night or last time. I will try and break them in at some point, but not tonight. With that, he looks over at you, and as soon as both of you begin to snarl at him, he kind of... You can see him. He wants to hold stout and resolute. They all carry weaponry and are obviously fighters, much like yourselves. But he kind of backs away just a little bit. It's subtle, but you can tell that he is intimidated by you. He's kind of using his mask to possibly cover up any sort of frightenedness or being frightened that you otherwise might have had given away. Lip quiver, something like that. See.
Ooh. There's a good question from chat if Atta is speaking Draconic, but it is telepathic, right?
It is all
What I hear.
Yeah, everything that he would be saying would essentially be telepathic, and it's all growling. However, should Atta speak out loud, it's a dead language that he and Team know, which in reality is Arabic for us, as Drew is a master at looking up words very quickly. But in our world, it is an Egyptian language that is Egyptian-esque language that has long since died from kingdoms that no longer exist in this area. Wonderful. So he turns back to his friend and kind of, as they begin subtly whispering to each other. And just kind of scooting as far away from your group as possible, giving you somewhat privacy there as Robert kind of speaks forward.
Oh, I didn't know that Leonin had such fierce roars. I'd only heard of you all coming from the east. What brings you all out this far in the first place anyway?
Sorry. I looked at Drew and he's uncorking wine with his mouth.
Baller move.
Back in the zone. I came looking for knowledge and I found friends.
Is that disappointing find by comparison or a happy accident?
Oh, delightfully happy accident.
Wonderful.
As Robert pulls up his kind of same thing, kind of makeshift scarf up over his nose and pulls his cloak up and over his shoulders, looking over at the Sandstorm.
Looks like we'll be in for a rough trip, I would say. best cover yourselves.
I will imitate what he just did as well.
Sounds good. You all take the ragged wrappings of the Centibus driver there, and the Centibus has begun its wholly vicious crawl through the sands. As it does, its feet don't, a normal bug, they don't sound like anything. It sounds very much like sticking a spear into the sands repeatedly with hundreds and hundreds of little legs. They're bigger than you, legs walking through the sand and winding back and forth, starting to head to the north. It seems that this Centibus is going to be taking the route through Ashburn rather than the southern route that you might have expected. So it might be going on another stop that was a little bit off schedule, but heading up towards Elfinvale rather than Obervane to the south. That's okay. You all seem to just be wanting to get the heck out of here in the first place anyway. You find yourselves in a moment of respite here, though everyone is kind of holding themselves steady and everybody's mostly holding onto their gear onto the Centibus. A few are tying up their ropes to make sure that their stuff doesn't get blown away off of this thing with the coming sandstorm. It seems that you have, again, maybe about half an hour before this thing really hits on you as the Centibus walks its way through the sand. What are you all wanted to be doing during this time?
I'm gonna look over to Ada and say "Dalila Huna," and point to my chest and tell him to come here in my language.
Okay, coming on in.
As he crawls his way up into Team's chest
Then I
cavity, wings wrapped around
Close
himself.
my cloak up around him.
I'd love to be
You go,
looking
Brie.
out to make sure that our bus driver doesn't remember that he's carrying stowaways. Because that charm person, I'm going to be like kind of watching the sun for the time, because I know an hour after I cast it, he's going to get real cranky at us.
Possibly could be a little bit upset,
So I'm
Sounds
going to be
good.
like trying to keep an eye out, trying to like be prepared to jump into disguise self, hiding our party if need be.
Wonderful. With that, y'all are at the second to last little section of this 200 feet long Centibus, 10 feet sections. Roll me a perception. It's going to be hard to see him from where you're at, especially with everybody else. However, there are moments where the Centibus is kind of crawling up and over sand dunes where you can see him up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely sound.
That was cocked, and then it was a 4. I can't see 6.
Covering your face up with these wraps, more worried about your safety of the coming sandstorm. It's really hard for you to see past the people with your short stature, let alone see through this kind of slowly picking up sand wind coming through. It's kind of buffeting your eyes.
Now, all
Fair.
these sections linked, like, could we hypothetically walk between one section to another, or would we have to get down and then up into another section?
You could walk between. It's kind of like a train cart where there's like a small gap in between, like little links in armor on this centipede going through. You could definitely hop from one to the other. There's maybe like a half a foot or a foot gap between the two, enough for you to stick your legs in between. But if it were to like curl up suddenly, it might hurt your legs pretty badly.
Okay, in that case, I'd like to do a little of exploring who else is on this train and see if anything that would interest me pops up.
Are you looking for things possibly to steal?
Perhaps. Reacquire.
Did not have enough of that last session, as it seems. Sounds good. Are you going to be walking up and down the different kind of sections of the bus?
I think we call it scurrying now.
Scurrying. That's fair.
We do scurry.
Is that what you're planning on?
That's my goal.
Sounds good. Are you walking? Because again, these are full of people, as if you're walking through a crowded bus. So full of people. Are you walking just like sneaking your way in between people? How are you going about this?
I mean, I'm hopefully small enough to be able to just weave through everyone.
Okay. Sounds good. You are small enough to get through, though every now and again, as you're passing through, you get some angry glances from people as you're essentially in the please keep your hands and feet inside the cabin at all times right now. The seatbelt sign has not been unfastened type setup, as it were. So as you're walking through, you're getting some mean glances, particularly as you walk through. There's a group of dwarves who seem to have one section off to themselves, all with similar color, shaggy blonde hair, who just really, really kind of death stare you as you walk by them. You're not sure if it's the fact that you interrupted possibly their family time or what it is, but they didn't particularly like you walking through their section of the caravan at this time. But as you are doing so, roll me a perception to see what you notice.
Not very much, it seems. That would be a 4.
For most people, because of the impending sandstorm, have a lot of blankets and tarps wrapped over their stuff to help try and keep it down. And so you know there is stuff there, but you have no idea what type of stuff besides what people are currently carrying on them, which looks like a lot of drapes to help keep the sand off.
And then I guess, is there also a food wagon or something similar?
There is. There's a few little sections where there's literally just a couple barrels full of rations. This is meant to be a 1 to 2 day trip, so it's not like it needs a lot. One little section of the centibush is enough to really get them through. So there is actually one that has no people on it. It's just boxes roped and tied down to the bottom of things.
Cool. Well, when I finally make my way back, I'll fill in everyone of the rough layout of what we're in.
Sounds good. Eventually, we'll say having to weave through everybody as you're doing this and kind of trying to get a good look takes you about 10 minutes to get close to the front and all the way back, since y'all are at the very end. So by the time you're back, there's maybe about 15-20 minutes before the sandstorm is going to get on you. But while you're doing that, Zinnia, is there anything that you'd like to be doing during this time?
I think I'd like to keep an eye out on those tieflings.
Okay, sounds good. You can also roll a perception just to see if you can hear anything that possibly sounds dastardly.
Well, that's a 2 plus 5, 7.
Have the roles reversed tonight? Am I going to have a great night and y'all are just going to die? I love it. Oh, I'm so excited.
We're about to find out.
There's still hope. I haven't rolled yet.
Ooh, let's get you a roll in here and find out how the knight's going to roll. Or else are you all just going to pass everything off to Drew and say, you just handle it from here? Okay.
Tim's got your back.
You're trying to listen to them, but the winds are picking up. Bits of sand are kind of pelting your face coming from the direction where they are, so it's hard for you to want to keep your face aimed that way. And so it's just becoming very difficult. You can hear that they are talking. There's a lot of whispering kind of going back and forth, but you can't really hear anything more specific than that. Right. Eventually, Salt makes your way back to the rest of the group. Robert and Erikai thoroughly, completely covered up now. You can see Erikai has done something that he may have at least been familiar with this trip, though they had admitted before they had never actually traveled outside of this area, but they're at least familiar or have heard things on good ideas, basically. The rope that is holding some gear down, he has essentially lodged his arm under the rope so that his right on his elbow is basically roped down to it as well. Just in case. He seems to be a little bit more paranoid than Robert is here, and so that is concerning to some of you, and to some of you who are less paranoid, not concerning at all. But as the sandstorm approaches, you can start to hear voices and whispers from some of the other passengers saying, Oh God! I knew we shouldn't have left today. The omens were bad. I knew we should have just prayed to them all and stayed one more night there in Oasis. It would have been fine. We should have left the next day. And several other people are like, I've weathered worse before than this. This is nothing. The storm's up at the top. That's not. The lightning hardly ever makes its way down. And as you just kind of hear general chitter chatter between. This is going to be really bad, and this isn't anything to worry about at all. Just kind of going back and forth. There's a little bit more time. Depends on what you would like to be doing. What are you wanting to prepare? There's about 15 minutes before the sandstorm gets to you. Yeah, love to hear from you.
Hey, team, do you mind if I hide in your cloak?
Yes, by all means. That is fine.
All right, I'll snuggle
Come
myself
on in.
down.
You can keep Alta company.
Would I fit in the hat?
You might.
Can I use my wraps to fashion kind of like a tent for the top of the hat? And can I sit inside the hat with Penguin Von Cool with just my head sticking out and then like have a little
With
head
just
tent?
your head sticking out, huh?
Yeah, so I don't die of not being able to breathe.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, you can definitely attempt to go into the pocket dimension.
So when I like set up, I would have set up kind of like just a head tent.
A literal
Um,
head tent.
Just a head tent, enough room for like me and Penguin to like have some time to like pop out. But if it gets too windy, we can just pop into the hat and then pop back out as we need to.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so you set your top hat, which weighs like a top hat does, down onto the hard surface of this centipede's carapace before Penguin McCool pops his way out of the hat real quick and goes right back under before you...
Summer, if you might, I think I see what you are trying to do.
Yeah.
Would you mind if I held the hat before you went inside?
I mean, yeah, you can hold the hat if you want to.
I mean,
I'm kind of
it seems like a good idea to keep you safe, but it also seems like there's about to be Sandstorm, and you're in a hat, and the hat flies away, and then we lose you, and the spear, and Penguin, and the hat.
yeah, okay. Summer's got like a one leg and her arm, and then half of the rest of her body is out of the hat. And she's like, "Oh yeah, nah, that makes sense, eh?" Yep, okay. Well, should I keep getting in or?
Team's gonna reach out and grab the hat.
As you
Gonna
like
pop it
hop
down next
over
to
with
me.
one leg, as he's kind of holding your foot in an extra dimension over to
They
him.
call us acro rats for a reason, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And I'm gonna snuggle up to my penguin pal and get nice and cozy.
Sounds good. You are going to put your entire body down inside, head and arms sticking out, almost like at the edge of a hot tub, right as you're sitting there. Now, team, you have this rat in a hat, which rhymes, so it makes it better, in your lap. With Summer sticking out. Summer, you can look down into there, and you don't see anything, though. It's just not how extra dimensional spaces work. However, you kind of, as if you're going underwater briefly for a moment, as you look down, there is Penguin McCool with all your gear and stuff that you have stored in this extra dimension. There, smoking his cigar. Oh, hey, you're coming down here, as you pop right back up out to the top to see your friends. And so you are now thoroughly nestled in Team's lap. As Team, you have a hat with a rat in it.
This is a nice hat.
I'm a nice rat.
I'm a nice
Oh,
rat.
fun times. This is great.
Wonderful.
At least you can say you will survive this sandstorm.
I mean, of course, unless you let go of the hat.
Let's hope that I do not get blown away either.
Ah, you'll be fine. Is it even going to affect you? Like, you don't have lungs or anything for the sand to get into. Aren't you just at the worst going to
My
get
eye
like,
sockets may fill up with sand, but that is about it.
Yeah.
Also, the electricity, I assume, probably would not be good, as Team watches like a crack of lightning inside the storm.
As you are essentially a bunch of lightning rods together as a bone man.
Yes.
Zinnia, Salt, what are you doing to prepare?
Zinnia's kind of smiling and welcoming the thunder. And lightning, both.
Oh, all right. Kind of very Wilson-esque on the island, just waiting for the thunder to come, hoping something happens. Salt, what are you doing?
I'm still nestled under his cloak next to his foot.
Sounds good. Right. You all ride for another about 10 minutes or so, passing through several dunes, going through this. You are now thoroughly outside of Oasis's view. Sanctuary and shelter now in the rearview mirror, so to say. You can see, looking back, once you're on the top of one of the dunes, Oasis itself, you've probably at this point gone about 2 miles on this centipede thing in half an hour. It's very quick moving for, the time. that it is. But you're now essentially out in the very open, the very middle of this desert with just dunes around you, as the thunder, the lightning crack coming from this large buffeting sandstorm is loud now. It's no longer in the distance, it is next to you. Some of the sand has started to hit you in the face, and this is sharp sand. This is sand that gets thrown around often. It's hot sand. This is not a lovely breeze hitting you in the face. This is warm sand buffeting against your skin. Luckily, you all found some respite against this with the new clothing that you have, or the hat that you find yourself in, depending on who I'm talking to. But it is upon you now. The winds are picking up heavily. This isn't just a dusting coming through. This is a thorough storm as it rages. Xenia, you start to hear the thunder crack out, and almost speaking to you, you begin to feel the connection to your god. I actually need you to roll me a religion check.
Oh no. Okay, give away dice again. Let's see. 17 minus 1, that's a 16.
17 minus 1, 16. All right. As you sit on the carapace of the Cendibus, other people are beginning to freak out. It is far quieter than it was before. On the bus, there's a lot of thunder and lightning noise coming up upon you, but everybody else is now huddled in their own way and just going to wait for this storm to pass. You can't see how thick or how deep this storm is here, but you can tell that it is powerful. The clap of the thunder, the strikes of the lightning within the sky, you've heard this harmonic resonance before. A cleric of the storms yourself, you're able to make out what some of the thunder, the beat, the deep rumbling really means in the sky, as you know that thunder and lightning, it's patterned for a reason. It speaks what it's intending to do. This thunderstorm is not at all intended for you all. It is a foreboding. There is something within this storm causing said storm. You know that this lightning is not natural, as it were. This is magical lightning being conjured. These winds are far faster than what you would expect from a typical sandstorm in this area. This is not the thunderous language of Cumulonimbus, your god. This is the thunderous language of some traitor that brings lightning. It worries you.
She is slightly offended at this traitor pretending to be Cumulonimbus, and will turn to team and company wherever they're tucked away, and let them know, like, this isn't a real storm, you guys.
What do we do?
She's gonna take a breath and call out to her god and see if anything will speak to her.
Yeah.
How do you have a fake storm? It seems pretty real.
It's unnatural, almost magical.
Okay.
Okay.
How's that affecting, how's that affecting you? Should we just wear it out? Do we do something about it?
I mean, it seems like something's bringing the storm, and that's what I'm more worried about, is whatever's bringing it, as opposed to the actual storm.
That seems bad.
Is it coming our way? I mean, I know we're in it, but is it actually coming our way?
What do you think?
Erikai with his wrist tap to the...
Yes, look at it.
As Robert also
It just
speaks
looks
up
like sand.
I think she knows. Is it truly coming our way?
pointing to Xenia.
It is, right?
Yes.
It is. It is. 100%.
Well, it's,
Gotcha,
yeah,
like,
it's definitely not moving
unnaturally
away.
coming our way.
Is it following us?
It seems to be large enough that it could be following you, but it also very well could be just sweeping in the general direction of Oasis, and that you could be caught on the outskirts of it.
I asked Xenia if this is something that she can watch and figure out if it is coming for us or not, or we're just haphazardly, randomly come into this storm? Like, should we be worried? Like, this is another god coming after you because you're your god's chosen ones, or should we be like, it's a storm?
I think I need to watch it a little bit more, maybe.
Right. As you all kind of look to your Tempest cleric for guidance, she is hell-bent on watching this thing. Now seeing lightning gathering around something that does not belong in the world of wind and lightning like she does. Her eyes are affixed to this storm. Everyone else heads down. Your group finds itself looking directly into the storm. I need everybody to make me a Constitution saving throw if your character is currently looking towards the storm. If you're just letting Xenia do it, by all means, but I need a con saving throw for those looking towards the storm.
That is a 23.
That's
That
a
is,
9.
23?
19
9.
minus 1.
18?
18. 3 dice for the win.
Bree, you're not looking? Okay, sounds good.
I'd say I'm just in the
Push your
hat
head
with
back
Penguin.
into that.
Yeah.
You're held under, facing away. Erikai and Robert are looking out, trying to follow Xenia's lead. You can see Robert seems to have a little bit more grip on this than he does. Erikai a little bit afraid, as we talked before, and so he's not as focused. And you can see sand begins to pelt your eyes. Anybody who got below a 15 is going to take... Oh, solid. 1d6 piercing damage as this sand begins to feel like glass going through your skin and through your protection, and especially into your eyes as you're aiming forward. Not having any sort of goggles or ways to protect yourself, this really affects you here. And you can hear cries coming out from some of the other people on the bus. My eyes! My eyes! Screaming out through several 100 feet away from you, some more nearby. You can hear the tiefling party next to you, the same one that you talked to before that you weren't a huge fan of. Seems to kind of be the leader of the group. He says, "No, don't look up. You hear what they're saying." My eyes! Grunting through. So yeah, any of you who was 15 or below, which was I think 2 people. Or was it just Xenia? Beautiful.
Just
you and
Xenia.
Erikai then take the damage. However, Xenia, you were steely-eyed, aiming right towards the storm still, an affront to your god. This hurts, but you barely blink in the face of trying to find out what this is.
You said
I just have no
1d6?
eyes.
You take 6. It was a d6. It rolled a 6, so
Got it.
6 piercing damage. Yeah, if you have no eyes, it goes right into the socket and back out at the storm. Take this.
Take that storm. You think you can get me down? Not today.
Not today. I need everybody to roll a perception check at disadvantage through how loud the storm is becoming. A solid 1. Good job, Bree. I'm loving tonight.
I rolled a 14 and yeah, disadvantage got me.
Yep. 3.
It was a natural 20, and then it was a 10.
Ooh.
Oh, you don't
That
like to
for
see
me
that.
will be 17.
Oh, wait, perception?
17. Yeah.
Plus 5, 15.
Ooh,
Just
15.
flat roll for me.
I mean, and mine turns into a 3.
Oh, well, that, good for you. Xenia and team, Erikai and Robert are not able to make this. They are focused or afraid, and Salt and Summer, this is not your area of expertise. You're very afraid you're going to be blown away right now. You're tiny beings. However, Team and Xenia, you've been in the sand for a long time. Team and Xenia, you know the sound of thunder when you hear it. You all hear a loud boom, boom around you. Boom, 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 boom. Xenia, you're not hearing thunder. Boom, 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 boom. Suddenly, you all feel a jerk. Yeah! As you're kind of yeeted, for lack of a better term, yeeted forward on this thing. I need everybody to either make me a strength saving throw or a dexterity saving throw, as you find your feet out from under you being pulled as your platform on the back of the centibus is getting yanked out from under you, or yeeted.
I'm guessing that I'm just gonna have to ride on Drew's dexterity check because he's holding me in the hat.
That's true. Jew, what did you get?
So I got a 14 plus 3, so another 17.
17. So we'll say that's to hold on to you. I need you to do another one then, since you were holding
Okay.
on to Bree.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Oh no. I love it.
6.
6. Solid. Zania.
13 plus 2, 15.
15. Salt.
14 plus 5, so it's 19.
Ooh.
But if
Gone.
can we see Drew let go of the hat?
What is your passive perception? Yeah, it's your sister. I'll say that yes, you can. That would be somebody that you would actively be watching out for currently.
Because I'm gonna jump at that hat.
Oh, all right. You hold on to it, but you see, as soon as this thing gets pulled away from you, Drew, you try and hold on to the hat, but with the concave nature of a hat, the wind begins to take it and it flies off. Salt, you actively let go of your grip to grab onto the hat and fly with the hat, not to lose it on there. Zania, you and Drew are both able to hold on to this thing as you see the centibus in front of you tip over almost like a... I'm trying to think of something that's like a section, a slinky, right? A slinky that just kind of falls over on the slinky doesn't have sides, but a train wreck where sections of the train, half of it fall forward. I'm good at descriptions. As half of it fall forward, the back of yours still holding itself up, but you can see the front half beginning to fall before you only have maybe about 50 feet of vision here, but you can see several of them flipped over on its side. Salt, as you go flying, you are now holding on to the hat. Make me an acrobatics check to see if you fall and get hurt or are able to roll your way to safety and take a little bit less damage.
Well, luckily acrobatics is my main key.
Ooh.
So 13 plus 7 is a 20.
Solid. Well, then this looks way better. As the hat goes flying, a 20 is what you needed not to take damage. As you grab onto the hat and quite literally do the superhero type roll, rather than roll once and like get it, this, you are not in control of this, but you are a rat folk, you're an acrobatic, you know how to land as you tumble your way through the sands before you hit the end of a dune there that's just going up enough to stop your forward momentum. You can see you are now about 30 feet away from this centibus that has moved over. Team and Zania, you heard something hit this centibus. This was not wind that knocked this centibus over.
I've immediately got my bow out.
You knock an arrow. You can see the tieflings that are next to you. One of them has flown off into the sand as the one that you saw before, seeming to be the leader of the group, reaches out and, grab my hand, grab my hand! And you can see those groups of dwarves that you saw before, Salt. They have since grabbed and pulled their axes and shields out before all of you hear a vicious, deep bellow. It drowns out. It's much louder than that. As it drowns out the thunder and the sand nearby. You can hear no longer lightning. You just hear the wind around as everyone freezes. You all are stuck on the back of this centibus. What are you doing?
I take out my
Zinnia,
shield.
are you okay?
I'm good. Are you and Atta okay?
Yes, we are good. Salt?
I don't think I can probably hear you guys.
20 feet away? Yeah, you're not able to hear him at that distance without actively listening for it. You
I'll
currently
stick-
just grabbed your sister. As Summer, you're still hanging out of the hat a little bit.
Halt. Summer.
I turn to Summer and say, "Are you getting out now?"
You're right next to him. You can hear each other right next to each other. So, oh, she's on mute. That's why we can't hear her.
Oh, she's not wrong.
I'm not role playing that.
This whole time she's been like, I don't want to be in that. Give me a...
I'm gonna climb. I'm gonna shove Penguin Von Cool back down into the hat and be like, "Take a deep breath, buddy," and then climb out
Yep.
and like firmly whack it on my head and be
It
like,
is stuck on there tight now.
"Thanks for catching me. Appreciate it."
Yeah, should have got it on camera, right?
Yeah. I was doing that
Alright.
on purpose, chat.
Let's get back, eh?
All right. Let's climb up that centipede.
And then we lock tails so we don't get separated again,
Mhm.
and head back.
You all begin running towards the Centibus. Team, you, Erikai, Xenia, and Robert have since grabbed weapons and pulled them out. 3 spears here with Robert and Erikai and Xenia all ready to go, trying to fight and see what is up ahead. You hear anguished cries coming from the tens and hundreds of feet off of this Centibus thing. You hear, oh God, as you hear what sounds like heavy war arrows landing into the ground, into the sand nearby you. You can hear the dwarves scream off, right, let's go, before they lose their voice in the sand. For suddenly you see landing into the sand next to you, one of the dwarves you just saw leave and run to the sand forward. A giant hole in its belly. What are we doing?
Oh, it was fun.
I don't think that. So do we get a refund for this? Because how far have we traveled? Like an hour?
About 2 miles outside of town, yeah.
I'm gonna chat to
Wow.
the manager. Not pleased. 1 star.
He gets a mad
With
1 star on his Uber XL.
with the Centibus, is its legs moving at all? Like, does it seem still alive?
You don't even have to roll perception because it's next to you. You look down to the side and kind of, they're moving. But roll survival for me, actually.
Okay, can do. Mm-hmm. Oh, yep. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. That's a 14.
14. The Centibus is moving, however, its legs' movements do not appear to try and lift itself up. They are more erratic and spreading themselves out like the spasms of a dead or dying creature.
Not
The Centibus is dead. Son of a bitch.
What? Oh, look at the legs.
Look at the way its
There.
legs move. Don't worry about that. Focus on whatever's in the storm. Don't let me confuse you.
We barely knew you, Centibus.
What do you mean? The Centibus is the largest creature out in the desert.
Do not freak out. It is okay. We seek cover under Centibus. I think that's a good idea. Group, what do we think? Fast thinking. Let's
We could cut it
not be
open
here.
and get inside.
Ah, yes.
Ah, the Tauntaun route.
I was going to say, I remember a story from back when, and he's like, oh wait, I don't have time for this.
No time. As Salt and Summer, this is about through the sand that you all get up to where you can see them on the top of this death throwed back of this creature currently, where Team Xenia and the 2 Dragonborns there are looking as you come up. The Tieflings are still on the other side of it, reaching out for their friend, trying to get them back up on the Centibus section that you're on. What are you doing? Tell me what you're doing. Let's go.
Is it flipped on its side so its underbelly is showing?
A little further up it is. It's like a train that crashed a little further up, but y'all's and the section in front of you and behind you is still kind of upright. Then it starts to kind of go diagonal, and then it's upright from what you can see. You can only see about 30 feet in front of your face.
I'm going to turn to
Best
Summer and say,
judgment
I'm going
from...
Oh.
Oh, no, go ahead, sorry.
to turn to Summer and say, I'm going to see what the heck's going on.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Can I see those tiefling folk?
Let's say probably not from where you're at because you're on the opposite side. They're kind of away from you on the left where you're on the right, and it's up quite a distance there.
Yeah. Should we just try and get back to our friends? Like,
I mean, if they're still there.
As you are talking about this, you all hear again that the sounds of what seem to be battle and fighting coming 50, 100 feet up in front of you, and the situation appears to be getting more dire. What are we doing?
I'm
I'm
just
going
scramble up.
to head towards it.
Okay. You all have no problem climbing as you are rat folk. As Team Xenia, the Dragonborns, you're deciding what to do. You see your rat folk suddenly join you back up on top
Sorry,
of this
Ryan.
last part.
I'm heading towards the combat.
Oh, you're heading towards the combat.
Still scouting. I'm gonna say, yeah. I just done a summon, so I'm gonna see what the heck's going on.
Apologies. I thought you said you were heading up there. Sounds good.
That's okay.
Salt, you begin putting your hand in front of your face and walking further forward. Summer, are you joining him or?
No, I'm gonna let him unless I want to try and keep an eye on him, but I also want to just scramble back to where I know those guys are.
Beautiful. You begin looking for your brother as he goes forward. This is technique that you do all often. He's often the sneaky one just to go see what goes on and then come back as you make your way up onto the top. So you all do see a rat folk come back rather than two rat folks coming back onto your section of the centibus. Salt, you begin moving your way forward. We'll pause at you, Salt, and go to them. What are you all doing?
So where is the combat in? Where
Yeah, so you're at
direction?
the back of the centibus. It would be the equivalent of towards the front and a little bit to the right, not necessarily eastern. You don't really know directionally where you're at anymore, but a little bit off to the right from where you're at. So
I'm gonna
forward and
look
to
at.
the right.
Okay, I'm gonna look at everyone else, and then tell them like, use the centibus as cover and check that out. I don't know what else to do right now.
No, I think that is a great idea. I see up ahead that it is flipped on its side. The easiest way we could cut into the bottom of the centibus. Its outside carapace looks pretty tough.
Yeah, and we have to find Salt and Summer too.
As Summer, at that point, has made her way up onto the top, as you're like, we have to find them, Summer. Hello, basically.
Hey, so okay, he's going to. There's like some crazy shit happening up that end. And he's going to find out what's up, and he's going to come back and let us know.
Oh.
Also, Penguin's fine too. I pull him out for a second just so he can get a breath and shove him back.
Hey, how's it going? So he goes back down into the hat.
What's the plan, folks?
I feel like someone should be there for Salt.
Yeah.
You all stay here. I will go.
I think he's just doing some recon. I think he'll be back in a second.
We call it Jiffy.
Yeah. He'll be a sec. Back in a jiffy.
Hey, I know Jiffy.
Right. If
Good boy.
as y'all are deciding what to do, Salt, you are making your way slowly up further into the sand. As you do so, you're kind of having to block your way, but trying to look over it, just trying to see as soon as you can what it is. It sounds like thunder is nearly right on top of you. The feeling that you have whenever you bring elephants into the show, that kind of boom, loud stomping next to you is kind of what you're getting here as you move further and further. You feel something wet on your feet as you begin walking further and getting closer. You look down and you pull your foot up, and it appears that sand has clumped around your little rat paw down at the bottom, covered in red, bloody, sticking to your leg there. You look down where your foot just pulled some of the sand up, and there's a body now under the sand in the dunes where you're walking. The sand moving so quickly from the sandstorm around you, it's covering up the bodies around, and the sand begins to pile up further before very quickly you hear another as if a giant warbow landed directly in the ground nearby you. Roll a perception for me.
My best roll. 3.
3, solid. You're going to have to get closer to see this thing, though the sounds make you a little weary. But it's your job. What are you doing?
I'm an inquisitive one. I'm gonna get a bit closer.
Sounds
I'll try to get a bit closer and not be as visible. How's that sound?
okay. You're going to roll a stealth roll?
I am.
Okay. We're going to say you kind of hug the edge of the centibus as you're going now. It is since flipped over and is on its side. You're right against the hard carapace there as you're moving forward.
I've gained your dice from last week.
Good. Oh, yes.
I'm on with the +5. I'm on 13.
13. Sounds good. You feel that you're relatively unnoticed. However, you think everyone should be relatively unnoticed in this large of a sandstorm. So you're not sure what would tip you off in the first place. So you just do your best to move extremely quietly through the sands. As you do so, you're hugging the edge of the centibus, just moving forward, brushing past the sand, going as quickly as possible. You have your hand up against the hard carapace before suddenly there's no more carapace there at all, as your hand comes back covered in green bug blood and guts. As you look forward, it seems that the centibus itself has been nearly ripped in half from that spot. You look forward, trying to find the other half, and see nothing but sand in front of you, before suddenly an incredibly large, a foot, scaly, gray, and covered in battle scars, old and decrepit, yet somehow sturdy like an elephant's foot, lands in the sand next to you, clawed and mangled from years and years of battle. As it steps in front of you, the foot goes nearly 10 feet up before it hits what would be the kind of joint of the foot, leaning over further. You can see what appears to be the side of an incredibly large lizard of some kind. You cannot see the head or the back of this thing. You're not even sure if this is the front or the back leg of this giant monster beast. I need you to roll me a history check real quick.
There's history.
There's history.
Bring up a history check. History is +2 somehow. But that's a 6, so it's 8.
You have no idea what
I
this
have
thing
your
is.
dice. I have your dice.
Good. You have no idea what this thing is. This giant lizard-like claw that just hit the ground, covered in almost patchwork-like scales, not necessarily scales of like a dragon, but almost, yeah, you kind of get the idea.
We do have a name for this down under, and it's called Leg It. And I'm going to leg it back to the back of the centibus if possible.
As soon as you see this, yeah, instinct kicks in. This is a bad deal. You start running. You hear another loud boom as if it's moving closer by to where you just were. You thought it was probably a pretty good idea that you're getting out of there at this time. You see suddenly the centibus that you're kind of holding your arm along to find its way back kind of begin to move its way forward very suddenly. Those of you who are on the centibus, which is everybody, being that you haven't come up with what you're doing yet, stuff's still happening. The centibus is getting pulled out from under you, much like it was before. I need a strength check to see if you all are standing up properly or if you fall over and off of this thing. I'm loving these dice rolls y'all have tonight. This is just payback.
Oh no. Oh no.
Do you want it as a flat strength roll?
Yes.
Okay.
Saving throw. We can do saving throw, actually. We'll do that.
If it's a saving throw, nothing. I have -1 strength.
Well, you can have the... Well, no, you still would have a -1 on the saving throw.
I rolled a 1, -1. But I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
Now,
You got it.
I'm guessing inspiration doesn't stack because you gave me inspiration last week and then I got inspiration.
But you never used it. Mm-mm.
I never used it.
You have a maximum of 1. Use it or lose it.
7.
Hey, it is better.
Who made this junk?
Love it.
Wait, was it mine or yours?
This is mine.
Drew, Zinnia, what'd you get? Or Team and Zinnia.
12.
13.
12, 13. These dice are performing much better tonight. Erakai and Robert, as soon as they feel it begin to move from under their feet, they actually aim to jump off. It's only about 10 feet up and down into the sands and roll off. That would be all 3 of you actually get yanked and pull back. And this hard carapace that's below you, your heads fall back and hit like a concussion blow on the top as you're going to take only 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you fall off the side of this centibus. 2 for you, though. 2 for Team the Unwilling because of bludgeoning, as you feel a tiny crack in your skull. You'll have to try and repair that later if you can, but for now it hurts. This is bullshit. You fall off and into the sands next to Robert and Erakai as Salt, you feel this thing get yanked forward by you, and you decide to leg it even further, running their direction, and you see your companions all laid out and on the ground next to Erakai, Robert, and 2 of the tieflings that you saw before.
Sorry, did we just take 6 bludgeoning? Is that right?
1. save for Drew.
Okay. Do we know what the staff does?
The spear?
Yeah.
Have no idea. Y'all haven't identified it or done anything with it yet. At about that time, Salt, that's when you catch up to the group.
Large, giant, lizardy thing. Oh my god, so big. Whoa. And no, not because I'm small. Bigger than you. Like, bigger than the Senate bus.
Settle down.
Like bigger than an elephant?
What?
Like 40 elephants.
There's 40 elephants out there. Why are there so many elephants?
Blimey, it's huge. It's like a gator back at home.
I don't know what to do. Do we leave?
Zinnia
Are we meant to fight this?
and team roll a history check for me.
Got you. History is one of my best.
As he describes this giant near gator-like thing, the size of 40 elephants.
Natural 1.
Ooh.
Mine was actually pretty good. It was a let's see, +3, so a 21.
I vote Drew rolls all the rest of my rolls.
Drew is going to have to carry tonight.
I got you guys. I will backpack it.
Drew, you've heard of this description before. The warning lights in your head, bing, bing, flying off the charts. Everybody else seems to be like, that sounds fictional, that sounds stupid, he must be lying. At first you thought he was when he said 40 elephants. Why would there be 40 elephants out here? As he describes that it was as big as 40 elephants with an arm scaled almost like a gator back home. You know that description. You know that sounds a lot like Ufazella, the god of the sands, the great beast of the scorch. If this is true, this is bad.
With that coming into mind, his jaw's gonna drop a little bit, and then he's gonna turn, and he's gonna grab Zinnia, and then he's gonna grab the other two by their coattails, look at Erikai, and look at Robert, say, "We need to get the fuck out of here."
Is it
Running the opposite way.
What is it?
Erikai.
If we have a better chance of surviving it out in the middle of the desert than whatever that is, it's the god of the desert. We don't want to die. Let's go.
As Erikai and Robert are like, all right, let's go. And they begin.
Trust me, I've been
running
around
forward.
for 100 years. I've heard these.
You don't have to tell me twice, and Summer is gonna like it.
So, as a group, chat, high or low? I need a consensus on high or low from chat.
High or low?
Chat
Just
God bless us with your.
Please, oh no.
Hearing
Don't kill
low.
us, Ryan.
I see low.
Oh wow, that was pretty good.
it's actually a pretty decent consensus.
Low.
Yeah. I'm hearing low so far. All right.
Mhm.
We're going to go with low. We'll see how that pans out for
The
you.
way we're rolling.
Low. The way you're rolling, it's a good thing.
Aww.
As you all begin running, team, you grabbing Zinnia and the other two saying, "Go, we need to get out of here now!" As the two Black Dragonborn come running behind you and they say, "All right, let's go." As they both run forward, you hear suddenly, as you see Erikai being lifted up by what looks to be a giant scorpion's tail coming through his chest piece here as he disappears off into the sand behind you. As Robert bellows out, "Brother, no!" And he begins to start walking that way as he looks at you all as you tell him to run. He's conflicted here. He doesn't know what to do. Should he go after his brother or should he come with you all? He doesn't know what to do.
I grab
wait,
him with my
wait,
tail,
wait,
grab his hand with my tail, and just keep pulling him, try to pull him along.
Wait, was high or low to determine whether or not it was Robert or his brother?
Oh no!
You evil man!
No!
I'm sorry.
Chat, you did so good. At least we still got Robert for the time
Robert!
being.
We boy, run!
Run, Robert,
I'm gonna give him bardic inspiration because Robert has to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, you're going to use bardic inspiration.
Yes.
Do it. How do you convince him to come? How do you convince him to steal his nerves and realize that's a bad idea?
Robert's gotta run. Robert's gotta run. His time hasn't done. Robert, fucking run!
Oh, weird question for you, Ryan.
Yes, you can take your point back, by the way, Bree.
Is Erikai? He's gone. Like we can't see him anymore. There was no time to react to that.
He, like the speed of lightning. That does not necessarily mean that he's dead, but he is gone from sight. You could try and chase after him should you choose to. You and Robert.
While this is happening, I'm gonna turn to team, and or who has the hat? Team has the hat.
No,
No.
Summer's got it back on.
Do you guys think the staff has anything to do with this?
Stuff. It's 40.
Is-
What?
There's 40.
Do you think the staff could help
I
us
don't
out
think
at all?
so. The storm was already coming. We need to.
What
we
if
need
there's?
to.
I mean, what other chances do we have? We have the Sandstorm, where we don't know where the fuck we're going, or we can just Hail Mary the staff. It spoke to us. It has to mean something.
Robert seems to be gently moving back towards Summer. Your song convincing him a good reason to stay as he's...
Brother, come back to Isis when you can. Where do we go? Where do we go?
as he's backing further away from where his brother was.
I think we have to get out of here, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we fought too hard for that sun spear. I mean, what? Shh, Robert, it's okay, sweet child. Let's just run.
His mind is elsewhere, I'll give you that.
I mean,
Run.
that pointy solar object. Do we try and save Robert's brother, or do we just leave?
I need a quick answer because you're giving Robert
It's-
time to think
It's
about going
huge.
back.
We run. We run.
We run.
Robert, there's no hope.
We live to kill what this thing is one day. Let us go.
Yes.
Yes.
As you all
This whole
begin
time I have an
legating.
arrow notched in
Knocked and
in
ready.
the bow.
As you all begin running, are you just running immediately away from where the tail came from, or where are we running?
Anywhere but there.
Anywhere but there. That's a good choice. Right.
Like, should we just run into like
I'm going to say
into
this
the
is
desert?
a conversation
I guess?
while running.
Can we actually
Let's
see
go.
where we're going?
You cannot. Currently, you
We
see
just
maybe
run.
30 feet in front of you.
Start running
Run
in
the
circles.
other way.
Opposite way. Okay. You begin booking it out of there as quickly as you can. Being that the vision is quite impaired, who is at the front of this? Who is running everybody away? Who is the one trying to lead the group? Team, I need you to roll a survival.
You should be good at that.
You'd
Pressure.
be surprised I'm not, but that was a 12.
12. As all of you are running, sometimes stumbling in the sand, as not only is there sand around you, it's piling up quickly, almost like you're sinking from deep within the sand where you currently are. You begin running, trying to get through, stumbling through. Robert, you can hear his kind of cries as he had to abandon his brother in the midst of this chaos. As you're running further and further, you hear suddenly a big bellowous roar coming back from the way that you were before. You all hear Zinnia, you recognize the sound of thunder. That is not thunder. You turn around, all of you. I need a quick Constitution saving throw.
Giveaway dice, don't fail me now. Giveaway dice is helping me out. That's a 17.
11 or 2
Natural
ones?
20.
Nat
11.
20.
Yeah.
3.
11.
11.
Why did you
3.
give me your dice, Ryan?
I tried to. I had to get him away. What was yours, Jackie?
17.
17 and a nat 20 from Drew. Solid roll there. Right. As you have to kind of hold yourself up from getting literally blown away by the gust of this sandstorm as it picks up and up and up. Many of you, the rat folk, who are a little bit smaller in size, feel themselves almost getting lifted up by the sand here. Team and Xenia with their rolls are kind of basically pushing everybody down. Robert as well, as you all kind of begin to huddle. And because of the light weight of the others, everyone is essentially now bunkered down as you're trying to run through this thing. The sand filling up over you like an avalanche here, beginning to cover yourselves. However, with Team and Xenia's roll, you are able to prevent flying away, not taking damage, holding your constitution steady to the ground before the sand begins to overtake you. As some of you try and pull yourself and climb yourself out of this thing, you find yourself buried and stuck in the sands below as it begins to fly over and over, the sand encompassing you all before you see naught but black as your vision begins to fade. You hear nothing but the sound of wind flying over the ground above you. For Team, you regain your vision. First, as you stick your bony hand up through the sand and pull your body up and out of the sand, looking out and around. The storm seems to have passed. You don't know how long you were down there under the sand. You seem to have blacked out for a time. Looking around, you see nothing of your companions. However, you do see what appears to be the top of a small hat sticking out from the sand there next to you.
I'm going to run up to the hat, and then I'm also going to look over, and Otto's still in my chest, I would assume, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to look at him and say, Nosraton mis machad, and have him start digging in the sand. I'm going to start digging in the sand.
Okay.
As he begins
This
trying
is
to find
serious,
your
Atta. We
companions.
need to dig.
I know. I'm very
Serious,
sad.
Kermit.
I'm sorry. I love my friends. I don't want them to die.
As Atta begins digging and shuffling through the sands, you pull the hat out, and as you do so, you see the top of Summer's head before the sand around it begins to pile up and over. But you recognize Summer's hand down there below. You realize it must have been very close to where you are, buried next to you. What are you doing?
Pulling.
Pull.
I'm pulling.
You grab on down into the sand, pulling on Summer's shoulder. Summer, you suddenly feel something as if you were almost suspended in animation there. As you pull yourself up and out, and as you pull Summer out, Summer, your tail is stuck on something down in the sand. Salt, you feel your tail being yanked up from below, suddenly regaining consciousness yourself. As Summer, you immediately recognize what this is and yell for Team, help, help, as both of you begin digging Salt up and out of the sand. During this time, Xenia, what sounds like as if you're stuck under a fort of blankets, you hear voices coming right nearby, as if in the other room. You can see a tiny bit of light above you. You feel a crushing weight around you. Before you reach to the light, out of the sand comes your hand as well, as you look around, your head barely sticking out of the sand as you try and dig your way out. And as you feel like you're kind of stuck there. Your body's very big. You're not bony. It's not easy for you to get out of the sand, but just your head and one arm is currently sticking out of the sand.
Where's Robert?
Don't you do this to us?
Ata is digging around. Currently, it's the three of you. As you ask where Robert is, you all have not seen Zinnia yet. You are in the sand, currently, having just dust
Where's
filling your
Zinnia?
mouth.
Oh,
A
yeah,
great
no.
dehydration filling you
I am
now.
digging until I find her.
Great. You begin trying to dig out in the sand around you, hoping to find them somewhere next to you. Zinnia, you can hear your companions now that you're out of the sand asking, "Where's Robert? Where's Zinnia?"
Over here.
Suddenly,
Immediately
team,
going over.
you run over. You see your lioness friend, arm and mouth barely enough to breathe, sticking out of the sand there. Running over and digging her out.
Oh yeah.
As you do, you take your hand and you actually pop one hand off and stick it over onto the other one, so it has a more shovel-like grip as you pull, digging the sand out as much as you can, trying to get Zinnia out. Before finally, Zinnia, you find both of your hands free, enough for you with your strength to be able to lift yourself up and out of the sand there. Before you find a spot to sit, no longer sinking within the sand. Summer, you and Salt find yourself sitting there while Team and Zinnia are pulling themselves out of
Are
the sand. You're out of the
are
sand
we able
now.
to help out?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Are we still like sort of recovering?
You can totally help out.
I'm gonna
All right.
dig.
Dig
Scurry,
everywhere
scurry,
we can.
Try and
Sounds good.
sniff out that sweet porridge scented boy.
Roll me
yeah,
a
I'm
survival
gonna-
to see if you can find him, or an investigation
I'm gonna-
for both of you.
I'm gonna have Ata. I'm gonna look at him and say Rayaton, which is smell, and then say Robert,
So
and have him go look for Robert.
Okay.
us rat folk get a special investigation where we can roll advantage. Normally, it's looking on loot on dead bodies. Does this kind of work? Can I roll
Looking
advantage?
forward.
I don't know. If you want to ask me that you can get advantage on that, I think you're giving up a little bit of hope there.
Have you seen my dice rolls?
I rolled a 17.
17, what was your roll, Salt?
Sniffing.
Actually, I decided to pull out my aluminium dice because they're never gonna let me down. What just happened? 16.
16. Roll a survival for Ata as well. If you have the stat block for that creature now.
Yep.
Beautiful. Suspense.
Ba, ba, ba.
As you hear nothing but wind blowing in the air. Everybody. Oh god, my headphones came out. Nothing but a nice, calm breeze. As Ata begins sniffing around while you're getting the
Okay,
stat block
there
for
we
the
go.
thing. There we go.
Survival is wisdom, right?
Tis
15.
15. With that roll, Summer, you begin trying to dig around as much as you can. Salt, you specifically sniffing out much like Ata is, trying to get that scent of porridge that was so prevalent by Robert as he had just stuffed his face full of it. You catch a whiff of something, and it looks like Ata also. You kind of look at each other at the same time over towards Summer as you say, "Sister, come here," as the three of you basically pounce onto a single spot and start digging. Ata and the two rat folk begin pulling sand back and forth before Salt, you cut yourself on something as you pull your hand up. It appears to be a spear tip that you recognize, which causes you to dig faster and faster as you begin to see the hood and the cloak of Robert. As you all three begin to pull this heavy, big dragon out. He's a little too heavy. You need some help. As Zinnia, you and Team hear that, you rush over to the group and feeling this giant dragonborn that he is. All five of you pull and throw Robert out onto the sands as you look over to him, and he doesn't appear to be breathing. currently. You can see sand covered in his mouth.
I'm gonna slap his face and try and scoop the sand out of his face and say,
I look at
"To the
Zinnia.
porridge!"
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds at first level on him.
Sounds good. As you literally stick him over and pour the sand out of him and start slapping him. Robert, wake up, wake up! As Zinnia's like, don't do that. As you come over.
9 points.
9 points. Describe your spell effect of Cure Wounds. I gotta get
What's
used to
happening?
y'all's spell flavors before I start spouting them off on my own. I don't want to assume your flavor.
Sure. While we're slapping him in the face, I'm just gonna grab his shoulders and I'm gonna take a deep breath, and then my paws start to grow a warm red as he is imbued with health points.
Hey,
Robert.
hey Ryan.
Yeah.
Do you know what flavor it isn't? It isn't strawberries and cream because she killed that character.
Oh.
I didn't kill it. The god of chat did. Naughty, naughty chat. How dare you? I would never. Never. I wouldn't.
This is your first like Game of Thrones-esque murder, isn't it, Ryan? Just to show us that no one's safe.
Look, let me tell you, no one is safe. I will give you that.
You're
Right.
angering the god of chat now.
As you put your paws onto his shoulders, you're like, stop doing that. You put your paws onto him. You kind of breathe life into your paws as they begin to glow red. As almost like magic, the sand in his lungs begins to pour out like sand from an hourglass outside of his face. As you exhume the sand from between, or from the inside of his lungs, and force breath back into him as you blow out a breath that seems to find its way down into his throat as he you can see wet sand up against his eyes where it must have been crying down within the sand before the sand took him.
What happened? What happened?
The
Where's my
sand
brother?
ate us, I guess.
Don't know. I guess while this is happening, I want to have a quick look around. Is there anything other than sand? Like what happened to the bus, the set of bus and everything? Is it just sand everywhere?
At this point, the first time you've taken a moment to really look around and see what's going on, Salt ever pragmatic, wanting to make sure that you are in a safe spot here, you see that you are right near the crest of a large sand dune. From around you, you see nothing but a vast desert. You're not sure which direction you're facing. If you got to the top of the sand dune, you might be able to see a bit more.
Is it too late to go get those armadillos?
Robert kind of does a...
Yes. Yes. Oh, what?
Suddenly, like, realization dawning in his eyes. My brother. As he stands in. My brother.
I'm gonna go over to him in Draconic, look him square in the face, grab him by the shoulders. He's gone.
I'm gonna hold his hand and say, "I'm your brother now."
Aww.
Roll a charisma check, Salt. At advantage, because team is helping try and bring him down to reality. Chad is saying I need a go fuck myself point for forcing them to kill off a character.
Chat, can you help me? I just rolled 2 1s at advantage.
You rolled 2 1s at advantage?
On a charisma roll.
Ryan did some
I am
like
not
voodoo
feeling
before
it.
this session.
I know.
Is this with the
Take
aluminium?
it. Take the
Yeah,
dice.
yeah.
I will
One.
I will
No
force
one's safe.
one person per session is going to have shit rolls. Last time it was me, this time it's you.
Oh
It's
no.
Oh my gosh.
You'll never be my brother.
Oh no.
As he looks up, as he's...
Jeez.
I lost my brother in the sands.
as he holds his spear up and kind of forces himself to stand up straight.
My brother is gone.
I mean, he got pulled up. Maybe he's okay?
We'll
He's
find his
gonna turn
body.
back to Summer and say, "Do not give him false hope. It is not what he needs right now. We all saw what happened. I am sorry, Robert."
Do you want to look for him?
I do. I know this is
We
the way
shall
of
go
the
look.
scorch, but I was not expecting it today.
He kind of steels himself.
I want to find his body.
Then we shall help you.
We'll help you, Robbie. Probably not the best time for nicknames, but we'll help you anyway.
Come. Let us look.
As he kind of starts walking up towards the top of the dune. What are you all doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Finding
follow
new
you.
dice.
I'll follow.
Finding new dice.
I'm right there with him.
Following. Okay. As he wants to get
Yep.
kind of a better look around, see if he can see his brother. As he's walking up towards this dune, that's not much further. He's, Erikai! Erikai! Sand still kind of in his lungs as he gets up to the top of the dune.
Eric.
As he looks out and around, the rest of you joining him up at the top of this dunes. As you're up there, all of you peering out over the horizons, behind you seeing nothing but a vast desert. Now on top of this dune, able to see much further. This is one of the larger dunes in the area. You can see out in the horizon. You see not the oasis, not any sign of land, not any sign of civilization. Well, you see a lot of land. Not any sign of civilization, not any sign of water, not any sign of the centipus. However, down the dune, you see almost like a bowl of dunes around you. This dune and 5 others, almost like a circle where the sand seemed to have piled itself up. Down in the bottom, much like the Zarlak pit in Star Wars, where it kind of bowls down into the sand. You see the top of what looks like a sandstone structure, revealed once buried deep within the sands, barely sticking up and out of the ground here. You can see an entryway to the top of this near pyramid-esque structure. It's maybe about 30 feet high from the distance that you're at, but the dune slopes down maybe about 100 feet down further. This peak of this building stands alone in this bowl of sand. Team, roll me a history check.
That's a 9 plus 3, so 12.
12. You're not familiar with this architecture or this building. None of you are. This is strange. You've seen sandstone built like it was in Oasis. However, this here is... You'd have to get a better look at it. From where you're at, you're not really sure what this is.
Should
I'm
we go
gonna
to
slide
it?
down the dune.
Oh.
Do you go take a look? Yeah?
I take my shield out and I ride it down the dune.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. Team, as you begin walking, Xenia, like a sled, sits on it on the side and begins sliding down. Team, you see her going past you down, never needing to waste any energy. Xenia, you slide your way down like a ramp towards the center of the bowl. Robert's like, looks over at Salt and Summer at the top of the dune.
Do you think Erikai is there, or should we look elsewhere?
If he's still alive, I would have gone there.
Yeah,
Sorry, Ryan, just to clarify,
Mm-hmm.
you said we couldn't see Oasis or anything. Has it been covered in sand? Is it gone, or we just can't see it?
I'm not really sure. You could roll a survival to see if you could tell where you are and directionally where Oasis should be.
Can I do that?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, fucking hell. I mean, whoops. Um,
I mean, oopsie
11.
doopsie.
Oopsie! 11.
11.
What have you done to us? I don't think I've rolled over a 10 all
Look,
night.
you've hit the curse of the sands. Y'all gave it to me last time. I've been spending all week putting it back on you. Except for
curse of the
Drew,
Down Under.
apparently. He's immune to it.
Because
He's
I'm
alone.
from the sands.
Exactly, yeah.
This is where I belong.
This is your home. As you look around, you've only been in the Scorch for like 2 days, and you traveled inside a covered wagon. You're not really sure where you are. It could be, yeah, that it's covered in sand. It could be that you aren't even on the same plane for your knowledge.
Right. Jeez. Look, Robert, I don't know what's up and what's down, mate. I think we should just go and have a look.
Okay. Okay. He kind of getting the last bit of sand out of him. Let's go. As he takes his shield and puts it back, strapped on his back, and his spear over, pulls his cloak up and over.
Thank you all.
Begins walking down the dune. Zinnia, at about this time, you slid up to where your foot comes out to stop you on the edge of this sandstone building. It's layered, much like that of the palisade of Keenak that you were in before. You stop yourself there. However, as you stand up, you can feel something heavy, like stone beneath your feet, as if you're standing on a layer of it yourself. There, it goes up again about maybe 30 feet, each layer being about 5 feet up, of large sandstone bricks. It's covered in sand and dust, but there appears to be writing on these sandstone bricks etched into the stone. As you kind of take a look at it, not very familiar with this language. It might have been something that you spoke once, but or you've heard of, but it's nothing that you speak offhand.
Okay. How is the writing, like carved super tall letters, or is it like?
It's each letter. It's more hieroglyphics.
Oh.
It seems to, rather than be a language on its own, it seems to almost like tell a tale as it goes
Oh.
across this. There's several images that would probably be pieced together if you could tell what the symbols between them were. You're not really sure what it is or what it means, but as you're kind of looking at this and beginning to figure it out, team, that's when about the time you make it down the dunes.
I was
And-
gonna call him.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there we go. Yeah, we'll say that you do then. That's better. As you're like, team, come here. And team, then yeah, you're like, I'm trying. I don't have a shield to do that.
do have
you
a shield, I
You do
just-
have a shield. Yeah, that's fair. As
She was smarter about it.
as you're like, well, that would have been copying at that point, so I didn't want to do it. As you make your way down to the sand, hearing her call you, you kind of pick up your pace, and before you finally get down there, as you kind of point out the hieroglyphics to team. Team, immediately you recognize this. This is your language. This is your dead language that you speak specifically. This is the first time you have seen this language in your new 100 years of unwilling life.
This is revelationary to you. I don't know if that, role-playing wise, you care about that. But
Just not getting a reaction, but okay. Yeah, so
I think he's
Yeah,
just
it,
solemnly contemplating.
Taking it in. Erikai is dead. Robert is sad. He just got buried in a thing, and now I see writing in my language that I haven't seen in 104 years. So just taking it all in. Just taking it all in.
beautiful.
He's gonna look over to Zinnia. And he's gonna trace his hands over it, and he says, "This is the language of my people." Hey. And then he's gonna drop down to his knees and start like looking at this writing.
I thought you said. Well, I thought that language died long ago, so you're telling me that this building is at least
Has to be.
100 years old?
Thousands.
Thousands?
Yeah, older. This symbol here. What is the symbol?
This symbol here, this is the symbol for porridge. A much better porridge than what they make nowadays. No. As you lean forward and kind of rub some of the dust off on it. The symbol in itself kind of looked gibberishy before, but as a team kind of begins reading it out and following along this square pyramid, walking along, reading this as it goes, as he starts talking about it, it starts to make more and more sense as he reveals what some of the symbols are. As he's, this symbol here, this is the symbol for life and prosperity and great prosperity. This is the best way I know how to say it. As you begin going around in this here, this is talking about rivers once flowing throughout the streets, a great green luscious world, crops growing the size of men, the nothing but wealth and happiness as you go around to the other side, as this is a symbol of sun and rain and growth and fertility. These are all symbols of life, and you go on to the other side there. As hold on, this symbol. I'm not sure what this is. You kind of rub the dust off a little bit more. This looks like a carrion bird, a vulture of sorts. As at about this point, Salt, Summer, you two, and Robert come walking down, and you can hear a team begin talking of these symbols out loud. Carrion and in death, skulls, bones. As you go over to the other side, and now sand. Famine, disease. I have not. You haven't seen this before, as it seems to tell a tale going around this. You look at the next level, and in smaller writing, basically says the same thing as you go around looking up. It paints this picture of wealth and empire, of things that are growth and good and all sorts of happiness in the land, before going around and starting to see death, disease, famine, sand, emptiness going around this pyramid.
Is this familiar to you before you were dead?
No. It does not remind me of. It does not bring memories like Spear did, but the story, it's strange. It speaks of the Black Lands where there were fertile crops and things, and it's almost as if the curse of Set it would have befallen this area. Speaks of how I assume this area came to be. At one point in time, it must have been a glorious place, like what I had seen in my memory. I have not talked about to you.
Is this what the Scorch looked like when you were alive?
Team's now realizing that he never actually told the rest of the group about the vision he had when he saw the spear.
You backed away and held that information private.
Did I have a faint memory I kept to myself about I assume Robert's with us now.
Yeah, all of y'all are down there.
When I hid minor freak out moment the other night at inn. I had a vision. I did not think it was very important, but in the vision I stood atop a pyramid with a king, and down beneath there were vegetated lands like what this writing speaks of. Where there were people.
So, what does that mean?
I do not know. It is almost as if a curse has befallen the land. And he's gonna point to like the vulture again in the carrion and the skulls and things like that. It tells the story of how it was all lost.
You mean this spear?
Take the hat off
Shit.
and let Salt reach in.
As soon as you take that off,
Hey, you left me in there for far too long.
Ooh, I forgot. How long were we under that sand for? Oh, dude. Do you want to come out? Do you want to come out for a bit on my shoulder?
I came out a few times to breathe, but there was just sand. I could barely get a breath. You had to have been there for 3 or 4 hours. Oh my
Ow,
gosh.
ooh. That's not what you want, Penguin. Oh man. Wow. Okay.
Oh,
just sit up here.
That's not what I want.
But also, shh. We're in there's a bit of a vibe going, so just maybe just choke quietly. Okay? I'll pretend light
the
his
vibe we're
cigarette.
going for.
we're serious here, Penguin McCool. Right.
I could be serious.
As you reach into the hat, then, and grab out the sun spear as you pull it out, and as you do, Robert says,
You have what? That
This whole thing?
is this the old man that you talked? The old man that you had a disagreement with was Keenak himself?
Look, we kind of liberated him of the burden of possessing this spear.
It was holding him back.
And we think, yeah, he was riding on the spear, not on his own talents, and we really wanted to see what he could do on his own 2 feet, you know?
Yeah.
It's really a service.
And while that's happening, I'm pulling it out and handing it to team.
he hands the spear over to you. Robert is a worshipper of the god of chatter and gossip. Robert is unsure how his god would react to something like this. Robert, the paladin of chatter and gossip, looks directly at the spear that you stole from the champion of Oasis.
Keenak will hunt us to the end,
Because I'm seeing panic in chat.
Keenak would hunt us to the ends of the earth for this spear. You realize that, right?
I think you're going to be cool with it.
Wait, did you told Robert, I think you're gonna be cool with it?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yes, very surprised Pikachu face, Rice Racket.
I don't know. This is why we had to get out of town so quickly.
One of the reasons. A little one, yeah.
We
But I mean,
did
the
not
town was
want
too
to
big for us.
concern you. Oh God.
My brother died so that you could get this spear out of town.
No, your brother died because some giant 40 elephant high lizard attacked us.
Robert, I
Ooh.
really care about you and your feelings. I don't think I can't really tell, but I don't think Oasis is there anymore. So I think either way, I think this is like a best case scenario. You know what I mean? Like not
Last
that your
of Us.
brother's, yeah, like not that your brother's dead. That's real sad. And I'm so sorry for your loss. We really, really, we were quite fond of your brother. If anything, we should probably blame the Chatter God for that, for not looking over him quite as well as he should have. But at least we have you.
Salt,
And we're alive.
you tried to convince him. I need a persuasion from you. I was going to give you advantage from what
And then
Summer
I-
said, but you also said this is like best case scenario.
And then I may have dogged on his God.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right. So you said that was a persuasion, did you?
Correct.
Is Drew gonna roll for me?
Well, with that being said,
8.
Oh, I tied at an 8, actually. Let's see. Chat. The first person to do a exclamation D20, that's the roll that we're going to use on high or low. High is good, low is bad. I'm going to see them exclamation D20s. A nat 1!
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Oh, man, I couldn't write it this good, dude. Heavenly aristocratic.
Are you
Fuck.
kidding me?
Bree, I think you're muted, Bree.
I am, and I'm outraged. I'm pretty sure it was a 2.
Fucking kidding
It was a
me?
2.
It was a
I
1.
see a 2.
It wasn't. It was a 2. It was a 2. Not quite as bad.
It was.
Angriest Joker rolled a 2.
The first one I saw after
First
I
one I
The
saw
first one I saw was a 1.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
one. Angriest had already rolled. Right.
Heavenly aristocrat.
The god of chatter is displeased.
Oh no.
As Robert looks at you all and says,
Sorry, brother.
Oh my god, this is how Robert becomes the big bad, isn't it?
This is an injustice. This here shall not stand. I was happy to help you get out of the city to free somebody who had a misunderstanding, but you stole from our champion. Give me the spear and I will return it to him.
Don't make us
I
fight him.
am
Don't make us fight
holding
him.
on to the spear. Speaking of, as I'm holding this spear, this is the first time I've ever touched this spear. Does anything happen since when I got a mere look at it, I got this immense vision, and now I'm actually holding it.
fair enough.
Is anything happening?
Let me do a check. Absolutely. As soon as Summer, like y'all are talking about this and he says, hand me the spear, we'll say that Summer hands you the spear at that point for you to hold. As that happens, literally, again, the opposite of a That's So Raven, not at all Raven flashback goes through as you were suddenly back in your past life. What color Dragonborn were you once again?
Bronze.
Bronze. You find yourself again covered in ceremonial attire, just like you saw yourself in before, atop the pyramid, next to a king sitting there. This time, you recognize a bit more. It is not just you. There are other lizard folk and dragonborn standing next to him, spears and weaponry in hand, ceremoniously, with thousands of people down below the pyramid, as the king stands up himself, a big, tall, gold dragonborn, as he walks to the edge of the steps on the pyramid, as he holds up the sun spear in his hand and begins to address the people. As he says,
Fear not this witch, for I will fight her myself.
before your vision returns back to where you were, now holding the spear in your hand,
As Robert says, give me the spear and I shall return it to Kinak.
There is no Kinak.
It does not belong to Kinak.
It does. It was his spear for 2 decades now.
Yes, and I know the owner of it, who it was for thousands of years ago. So whose owner is it?
you can roll persuasion on that, if anybody wants to aid.
Sure.
Summer
he
can
knows
if she unmutes
everything.
herself.
Yeah. Hey, he like if you, that's a stolen artifact. That's what that is. And look, this dude's like he's super old. He'd know about this kind of thing. Robert, we wouldn't. Oh,
Yeah, we're
I'm
archaeologists.
gonna lie to you now.
Oh, Salt says we're archaeologists. Okay.
As I say, we don't want to lie to you.
Salt, you roll a deception, not adding to team's
I don't wanna
persuasion.
roll.
I need a persuasion and a deception. So persuasion from team, deception from Salt.
Chat
So
code
the
is
persuasion for me is an 18.
18.
21.
Ah,
That's
solid.
with the -1.
Finally got a good roll.
Is he kind of finding himself stuck in a position here? Looks to Xenia.
You honorable cleric. This spear were an artifact of your god who died thousands of years ago, as you say, whoever owned this before. Would you take it back, or is it forfeit? If I found something belonging to the god of chatter and whispers, I might keep it for myself or put it up for others to see. I wouldn't use it how Keenak used either. But if this belongs to somebody, if you truly are archaeologists, as you say, where were you planning to return the spear?
As he asks you, Xenia, thinking you're the honorable one of the group.
Oh no. Finders aren't keepers. Losers aren't weepers. The artifact rightly belongs to the gods, and it should go back to the gods. Some mortal who proved himself strong does not own an artifact just because he is strong.
Roll a
Right.
persuasion. Oh, yeah, Summer.
Is Chat a new or an old god?
Oh, new god.
The new god. Ooh. Okay. I
Summer.
love you, Chat.
Love you, Chat. Oh. Summer, or not Summer, Xenia.
Because I love Rybonator.
Persuasion.
Persuasion was 10 plus 2. That's a 12.
12, right? Let me roll mine.
If you all promise me that this spear shall be returned for those who worship this god of something or other, then I can permit it. But I cannot permit this thievery anymore. You wouldn't. You stole for a good purpose, I recognize that. But thievery is wrong. I hope that you all stray from this path and follow a godly path.
Robert, I think that having you with us will only increase the chances that we'll do good.
You're right. Until you prove yourselves worthy and that I know the spear will go to a good cause, I think I best watch over you. You did save my life. I owe you at least that much trust.
And hey, we'll find your brother one day.
We're going to find him soon. Now, what is this?
As he looks up at the pyramid. With that, we're going to pause for a quick little break. We're going to pause until, let's see, it's 9 o'clock. 9:05, a 5-minute break. Once we get back from the break, we're going to do the giveaway for the first set of dice. So if you haven't done it yet, make sure you do the !LUD to enter the dice giveaway for Drew. It's Drew's dice, correct? We said? I think so.
Yes.
For Drew's strawberry porridge dice to honor the Erakai.
Oh, wait. What kind of... Yeah, these are Erakai dice.
These are to honor the fallen brother of Rarbert.
Yeah, they were strawberry and cream better porridge dice.
And
Wow.
that's how his memory will live
I'm not
on.
sad.
And
Wow.
see you in 5
Not as
minutes.
sad
I
at
would be
all.
so mad if I caused the death of him, but I didn't. I left it up to the god of chatter. Whew.
You better watch yourself, man. Chat. They're gonna
They're
get you.
coming for you.
You've got a big label on your head that says GFY. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, look, I didn't hear enough of it in the chat before, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back at 9:06, just because we talked for just a second, and we will be right back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody, from that break. I hope you all got to get your prayers and thoughts out for Robert and Erikai. I'm seeing them being called the Rar Men. I love it. Right.
One out for Erica.
Pour one out for one's homies. Right. I think we got some dice to give away. So I think, what do you say, about 1 more minute left to make sure that everybody gets a chance to put in their entries for the giveaway. And then we will give away some dice from the lovely Drooby Dooby Doo here. And I'm going to throw them up on the
I
screen.
would like to say in this 1 minute that we have for you guys to do this, whoever wins these dice, these are very special dice now. They're for an NPC that is no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to honor Erikai whenever you roll these dice.
I'm going to cover my face with
For
the dice so that
Erikai.
people don't just get mad at me as these dice are up there now that this is for a dead NPC.
You guys got to get your entries in because I can see how many entries we've got, and we have more people in chat than we have entries. So get it in now, and I'll give you like 1 more minute, or less than a minute, a brief minute.
Exclamation mark LUD, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Get them in. And while we're doing that, I have to show something off. My wife was apparently making art while we were streaming, so I'm going to show one more thing off. She made her Twintig, but her version of Twintig, which we haven't named yet. But she's a Starbucks fan, and she's got little Goblin Bucks cup there.
Oh.
That is so cute. Did she draw the original Twintig?
No. I gave that my original idea for Twintig to an artist, and they took it away from there. But she made an awesome Nike shorts version with the Starbucks cup, which is ideally her.
Amazing. I want to see Rybo wife on a stream one time.
I'm trying. I just try.
We know you're in the
Like
chat,
Ryan. The god of chat has also decreed something. They said it is not the fault of the almighty chat. It is this false prophet, this demigod, and terrible weaver of fate, Rybonator.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
if I'm killing off a loved NPC, I think that's fair enough. I will take a GFY for that one. I'm seeing that in the chat pretty often too. So a big, large, go fuck myself.
You mean I've actually got a chance to actually succeed at a roll now?
Y'all have a chance to at least make me not do good. Right.
Just once.
Dice are ready. Let's give them away.
Give what's it called? It's done. Whatever. Announcement. Wow, professional.
Who's gonna win?
Raynock.
Raynock. Hey.
Yay, Raynock!
Ooh. Raynock X.
Thanks,
That
Aaron,
is,
dice for us.
you must now create an Erikai fighter Dragonborn NPC and play it in your next D&D game. It is foretold.
That is the rule of you winning.
And his
Will be
favorite
called
thing
Erikai.
is strawberries and cream portage.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Maybe we can get a guest
Congratulations.
on to play the reincarnation of the fallen brother.
That's it. Well, fantastic. Congratulations, Raynock. Up next, we have a beautiful set of dice coming from our lovely Jackie here from Moonbeam Menagerie. These bad boys for Zania's set. So once that new giveaway goes up, make sure that you enter for that one as we get to playing again.
Absolutely stunner of a set.
Away it goes.
Super pretty.
Beautiful. Right. Back to it then. Shall we resume?
Let's do it.
Robert says, "What is that?" As he points up to the pyramid.
This team's just holding out the spear in front of him, in front of this pyramid. He says, "I need to make one thing known to you, Robert. I appreciated you, and I had no intentions of bringing you out here for you or your brother to die. I need you to know this. It was not our intention.
I know. I can sense that in you. I feel that you truly are honorable architects.
Because he's been lied to.
I feel that we will make it out of this desert, and I will find my brother's body so that I can properly bury him. If you help me do this, I'll be in your debt.
We will find him together.
Good.
I also need to make it known this spear, as far as I know, did not belong to any god, no. It belonged to the ancient king of this land. An honorable golden dragonborn.
What was this king's name?
That I do not know. But I have had visions. He spoke of defeating a witch. And from what I could tell, he seemed much more honorable than Kinak, one who would kill his own. It is not right for him to own the spear. It is right for us to return it to its rightful place.
Perhaps I spoke in anger. Forgive me.
It is understandable.
Obviously, it's been a hard day. You know more than I. It appears to be that your group is far wiser than the isle it's on, and for that I apologize.
There is no need for apologies, my friend.
Oh, good brother.
Oh, to clarify, are we meant to be architects or archaeologists?
Archaeologists, I totes said it wrong.
Okay.
No, I can do either.
We just build things. That's why we
They
need
got
this spear.
This pyramid, you can see the angles are quite long, and the buttresses
it's
are
got that
definitely
angle.
buttressing.
Salt. I think you're gonna have to get a degree in archaeology. I don't think I can lie to this dude anymore.
I mean, we've been
One-
collecting stuff for a long time. That's archaeology, right?
Sure. Do you believe
Yeah,
that?
yeah, for sure. It's old
Okay.
stuff too.
Yeah.
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 Archaeology rats.
Archaeolorats.
Archaeolorats. Acro
Team's gonna
archaeolorats.
look down at the two of them, and then look over at Xenia. He says, if you were to ride with us and to make us more honorable, it's only fair that we do not lie to you either.
Okay. Agreed.
We are no archaeologists.
But you just said
We are a group that happened to come on each other.
Look, we have an interest in
Aspiring.
ancient. Yeah, in ancient. Also, you know what my brother's trained in.
We met
I do
Team
not.
Zinnia, and they needed help finding old things, and so we helped them find.
Look at this guy. We
Archaeology.
like him, and he's old as AF.
Why did you take the spear then?
Who told us?
Because
History.
It was my idea. It called out to me. And it did not belong to someone so unhonorable. Gladiator fighting, there is no honor in that.
That's not true. I fight in the rings. There is honor in gladiator combat. Gladiatorial combat. There
Not
is
the
honor
way
in that.
he did it though, and you and I both know that. You do not fight to kill everyone in there. You fight. You show mercy at the end. I
Kinak,
too fought in the rings.
you did.
There was no honor in what he did.
Kinak was like a living weapon. The fastest with the spear that this world has seen. I know he wasn't honorable, but he was good at what he did. If you... I must think on this. I cannot say that I like it. You just lied to me. Again, after promising that you wouldn't.
I do not speak for these two. They very well may be archaeologists. As far as Zinnia and I, we are not.
Are you then, Ratlings?
Of course, you have to define what archaeology is. And as you know, it's the finding and securing and then returning to where it's respectively old pieces of junk. Well, not junk, really. This is really not a junkie. You can see it's really amazing. Like, wow, amazing. Not like 40 friggin' elephants giant amazing, but it's definitely amazing. And so we're returning it to where it belongs. Archaeology.
Yeah. Like maybe you could say that we're more connoisseurs than professionals. But we dabble in many fields. This is something that you'll come to know, my friend.
You got to have the heart, right? The heart's what really makes it. And then the brain just follows.
Yeah. To be fair, we are orphans, and we didn't have a lot of chance to go to formal schooling.
Pulling the orphan card.
We got stuck in a circus. They worked us to chew and bone. It's been very,
Also,
very challenging.
Archaeology is like a 4-year degree, and we're only 6, so.
Yeah. So we did a condensed course.
We're
12
more like
hours.
we're studying in the field, like an apprenticeship, you might say.
Learning as we go. Yeah.
I can
Summer
tell
and
you,
salt.
regardless of what they are very important to this group. They are the ones that have made sure we have stayed alive as well.
Look, I'm gonna level with you as much as I can, Robert. A party needs balance, right? An adventuring group needs balance. We need you, our mighty paladin, to keep us on the straight and narrow, correct? But sometimes things need to be
Narrow and straight.
repositioned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we will look to your guidance for conscience. Our conscience.
Yeah.
Our conch. That what
Someone's
the
going to
word-
look after it because we don't really know it very well.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
then we can we can help you out with some things that maybe you aren't as comfortable with doing. But
Like
between
paying your
us-
ride on a wonderful, huge center bus.
we have our benefits.
Y'all essentially keep pulling the like skeevy lawyer. Like, let me tell you why we're useful. Like over and over as he sits there, kind of quietly. As you both like keep talking to him, he looks over to Xenia and team then, and he said,
You are 6 years old. You are but children then.
Excuse and we.
"Yeah, y'all are like fully grown rat folk." He just doesn't know that.
Yeah, age is relative.
I will help. He gets like down to y'all's level and kind of like kneels down and says,
It's not your fault that you don't know right from wrong then. I will help guide you to the path.
Oh, thank you, Robert. Our religious daddy of the good doings.
Show us the chat ways. By the way,
Sure.
I've been talking about Chat God because he's amazing and really, really cool. And, normally helps a lot.
I have to agree with Salt. He has been doing this. He brought the
yeah.
knowledge of the chat god to me as well.
Do you know what I've learned about chat? They are the god of gossip and chatter, and gossip isn't always true.
You're not wrong. Sometimes gossip is used for malevolent means. I can never seem to get a grasp on what the chat god wants, but I hope one day to do so, and I will still fight in the name of chatter and good stories to be told.
Well, maybe you can just think of us as prophets of chat.
We will have all the stories you need.
I am a good talker.
I will join you then
That's-
for the time. And we will find my brother. And I will pray to the gods at what I should do next. But for now, I am at your sides, as it were.
So how about this pyramid?
As Salt immediately trying to throw like the idea of like, I'm here for now, and just throw that out the window. Changes the subject. So pyramid. from where you all were originally at the top of the dunes, you saw something that you no longer see now. There was an opening appearing to be at the very top, the peak of this pyramid, so it would be about 30 feet up from where you're at now. But just something to remember.
And it's just a pyramid.
You're at the tip of it. It could be a lot longer. It could be that this is the end of it. It could just be like a 30-foot small little pyramid.
Yeah, right.
They don't make pyramids like they used to.
Yeah, darn.
I'm gonna keep that spear in hand at all times.
Okay, you hold on to it. You begin to feel warmth radiating from it. You feel that if you were to spend some time, learn the ins and out of this spear, that you might be able to use it to its full potential. For now, you're not used to the balance, used to the weight of it.
Does it look like the sand has been pulled from this bowl that we're in? Because this was covered, right?
Correct.
So does it look like the sand that we were buried in may have come from this kind of chasm that we're now in?
Roll a nature check.
Oh God. Roll more stuff. I'm gonna fail more soon. Alright. Yep. Rolled a 4 and I get +2, 6.
You're not really familiar with how sand and wind works. You know, there was a lot of sand up in the air, and now it's all on the ground. This could have just been sitting out there, and you just happened to not pass it before.
Yeah, what's the weather, hey? I
Hey.
don't know.
The sands, they are always changing. What may stand tall at one point in time may disappear in the next. At least this is what I have learned from living out here.
How strong, whatever that was, this could have been a building standing long ago, just the top of it ripped off the head if it had the strength to throw a centibus like that.
Oh, should we dig and see if it goes deeper?
Was there
There
an
is no harm
entrance,
in
a
this.
hole?
You saw from the top, Salt, as you were coming down. Yeah, it looked like there was a hole at the top.
I think we have
Let's
to go up
scramble.
to go
Yeah.
down.
Mm.
Scurry up.
Show the way, brother.
Salt and Summer, you have no problems climbing over this. These are like 5-foot little stone sections. So Team and Zinnia, you think you're going to have to help Salt and Summer up. However, they climb up as if walking on nothing at all, just as if they were walking on the ground very easily over these things. It's actually you all that have a tougher time having to push yourselves up and over with your heavy gear. Same with Robert, as the two of you kind of pull him up and over and kind of take turns making your way up. Salt, Summer, you get up there very, very quickly. As you do, climbing up to the top layer appears to be a singular 10 feet by 10 feet stone slab with holes kind of jutting out the edge of it, almost like air vents. With the top, as you kind of reach up there at the beginning, bowled out almost like it was supposed to collect something. Rain, you're not sure, up on the top, but down into there in this almost 10-foot diameter hole, you can see down, there's channels and smooth stone as if it is supposed to collect something going down, but you see the rungs of a ladder that go down further into this chasm. If you wanted to look further, you totally could, but
Is
right now
there-
you're
It's like a
standing on the edge.
volcano.
A ladder volcano.
Is there like a spare rock I can find and like toss down to see how far it goes? Or if it hits anything?
It's mostly sand around you. However, you do have pieces of gear. You could throw a coin down if you'd like.
Blasphemy.
Immediately, Salt
jump
like,
after that.
dives.
Salt just falls down.
I'd rather not have Salt dive down for that.
If you have something else
but I
on you, you
mean-
can throw it.
Salt, if we go back down...
Are you going to throw me? Wait.
No, no.
Well, Salt,
on the right side.
here you go.
Well, I'm saying we'll get the coin back we'll get the coin back when we get to the bottom.
It's
It'll,
blasphemy.
but it'll clang. It'll make a
well-
loud sound. We can
Here,
tell
and
where
I
it
pull out
lands.
an apple from a pocket.
Also, we don't know how long we'll be in the desert when we get food or water, so we might want to hang on to that.
You kind of
You can't
pause
buy
for a
more food
second.
with apples.
I have a torch.
You do have a torch. Do you want to light it and throw it down? No? As they're all discussing what they're going to throw down, Team No Nonsense sets his torch down on the sandstone and as it lights up. And Team, you throw the torch. They're like, well, I don't know if I'd throw an apple. We could use the food. As Team, you walk by and kind of look at them and just side toss the torch down into the hole as you hear the clanging of the wood.
It's a hole.
Mm-hmm.
Before you hear it hit stone. Takes about 8-10 seconds before it finally lands all the way down. It's quite deep.
1 down under, 2 down under, 3 down under.
Is that legitimately how they do that in Australia? In America, it's
Our
one
rat folk
Mississippi.
do it. Yeah, Mississippi's what I learned.
One Melbourne,
okay.
2 Melbourne, 3 Melbourne.
That's amazing.
Should we just climb down the ladder?
Yeah.
Nothing's blocking it. Nothing's in the way. There's no water that might drown us. So
I'll scout up
sounds
ahead.
fine.
I got this.
So you're gonna go first.
Scurry away.
I'm gonna. Hey, mate, Penguin. I think it's time to get back to my hat.
All right, I
I'm-
sat there quietly within this whole
I
ordeal. but-
know. I'm so proud of you. Well done. You'll find some fish in there.
All right.
On me. I don't want you to fall down.
He sticks his stick in the sand as if to put it out, but there's nothing. So.
Fine.
Flippers aren't for climbing. They're just not.
Just don't leave me in that long again. Not with all this sand.
All right.
He
As
says as we go
Penguin
down.
McCool drops down into the into the hat. Salt. You step into this small little bowl. You kind of slide down into it as it kind of goes down into where the hole is itself before you get to the rung on the ladder and begin kind of just climbing down. It's obviously designed for a race a lot taller than you. So instead of like here, which is a comfortable ladder for you, your hands are very much further apart for you because you're tinier as you kind of go down.
I'll
with
use
it,
my tail as well as the third hand. So
balancing yourself. Wonderful.
yeah.
As you begin climbing down, are you all waiting for Salt to go down, or are you all going with him?
I'll go down after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody begins climbing down. Robert is going to take the rear on this one, allowing you all to go down before following you himself further and further down.
Would you say I'm about 30 foot ahead of everyone else?
Yeah, I'd say so. You're fast and actively a scout trying to move through things like that. You all have dark vision. However, I do need to check one thing just because I forget offhand. Dragonborn, dark vision, yes or no? I think the answer is yes, but I could be wrong. Anybody know offhand? I got it right
Nope.
here, if not. They do not. Wonderful. All of you see in the dark except for Robert. Right.
Cool.
So, as you're climbing further down, Robert begins to have a tougher time seeing the rungs. However, there is the burning torch down at the bottom, which is providing some light. Salt, you think you've climbed for possibly 100, maybe further, feet down into this thing. It's
So is that
basically
about
a tube.
Down unders or 10 down unders?
About eight down unders. You're getting further and further down. You can see the light actually is not directly beneath you. It seems to have gone and rolled a bit of a ways down. As you're going further down, you see there's a pile of sand that kind of piles up here at your feet down from the ladder as if it came in through the entrance in the hole before you finally set your foot on it and find yourself in somewhat of a solid footing. But you look down and you can see the torch has rolled its way down the sand, probably another 50 feet. This is a large pile of sand here that you are currently standing on. However, the hole opens up and you now find yourself in a very, very large room.
All right. Do I notice anything dangerous to start with?
You look around, this ladder now being in the very central, almost like pillar. There is a huge mound of sand, again, going about 50 feet up. You look around, and there are 8 large statues in here, all faced towards where you are. There are 4 sets of statues, 2 in one direction, 2 in another, 2 in another, 2 in another, all of great beasts aiming out towards you. This seems to be the center part of the pyramid that you are inside now. There appears to be 4 entryways or doorways in between these statues that lead to hallways or stairs leading further down into the pyramid in which you stand. The statues themselves, there are 2 sphinxes. They are traditional sphinxes aimed out with their paws kind of up with the pyramid-like hats on the top of them looking there. There are also 2 large carrion birds opposite the sphinxes on the other side with wings aflutter and jaws out and as if squawking out to the world and flying currently. On your right, you see there are 2 large dog-like, think Anubis for best of terms, statues standing there. These dogs stand upright with hands out and staffs holding themselves up. And then on the opposite side of that stand 2 dragonborn statues, standing in stark contrast to these beasts, as the dragonborn stand there with shield in hand and spear in another, as you see. Those are the 8 statues that you see. 2 dragonborn,
And nothing's
2
moving, right?
carrions. Nothing appears to be moving. No.
Okay, I'll do my my whistle that says it's safe, so that my sister can hear it.
As you do so, one thing that you do notice down here in the dark is off towards the Anubis-esque statues holding their hands and their shepherd's crooks as staffs off. Below each of these statues are 2 large braziers, whatever, not bras, the fire things. However, the ones below the Anubis statue are lit and burning.
Okay.
No footsteps in the sand or anything?
Zinnia, as you kind of are climbing down with the rest of them, we'll say that about this time you give them the go-ahead for them to come down, and everybody slowly makes their way on top of the sand. You can see, team, your torch is rolled all the way down. Robert seems to have a hard time holding his footing there, as he can only see what the torch can see, so down at the very bottom there. He can see the braziers that are lit up with the Anubis-like statues there. That's when, Zinnia, if you want to roll a survival to see if you see any footsteps, you totally can.
And I'll mention that I
while
didn't like
she's doing that-
torches.
Give away dice.
While she's doing that, can I see if I recognize any symbols, like especially on the shields of these dragonborn?
Yeah, absolutely.
Rolled an 11. Sorry.
History. You rolled an 11 on survival?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
might...
wait, that's a 9. Sorry,
Oh.
that's a 9. That's
You-
a 14.
Even better. 14, you said?
Yes.
Okay, great. I thought you said 9 as a total. I was like, that's worse.
Sorry, no.
No, you're good. 14. There might have been even more tracks here at some point, but your weight, as all of you stand now on the sand, it kind of, like when you're on a dune, sand begins to fall its way. There seems to be tracks as if sand had to fall itself again further, heading towards the Anubis one, but no specific footprints or anything that you can make out.
I can't see anything past the great statues there. Can you all? What's in here?
I rolled a non-nat 20 on that history or investigation, or was it investigation?
Yeah, we'll say investigation. That's fine.
In that case, math.
I think I said history before, but history or investigation.
That would
either
be
one's
a 17.
17. We'll go with investigation. That sounds more appropriate. As you try and look at the symbols on the shields, you do actually recognize symbols, and those of you can kind of make them out, but there's also writing under the symbols on the shields as well. The shields have a large fiery sun on the outside of the shields. There's hieroglyphs and markings under them that read out essentially a scripture or a passage that equates to praise the sun god will provide, You are never lost without his light, as so reads the shields.
As I say this back to the group, I get back to the part of...
Is that your god?
Staying in his light as I hand the torch to Robert.
So do you
as
run?
I'm saying this.
Do you walk down the sand to go grab the torch and bring it back up to him?
Actually, no. I'm going to use prestidigitation and light up another torch I have, because I have 3.
Oh, sounds good. So you just leave that
And
one
so
there.
I just
Great.
light up.
She's like, I can't see anything.
Never leave his light.
During that time, you
As I get done saying that.
never leave his light. As Robert, wow, all right. So he holds the torch out. Now he's able to see a little bit. A lot of this is further out, but it's dim light. He's at least able to make the silhouettes out on a lot of these things as you kind of describe the room to him and around. As he's like, once you say it, he's able to kind of see like, oh, that's what that is.
Summer is like really sus on these statues. Can I go and have a bit of a closer look and just kind of like be really cautious and make sure that they're not going to spring to life and attack us?
Absolutely. Which ones are you going to go look at first?
What's closest? What's the most?
You were in the very center of the room.
So we've got the ones that look like the traditional like
Egyptian
Sphinx,
What about the one
right?
with the torch?
Sphinx and Anubis, and then there's also the Carrion and the Dragonborn there. The one with the torches and the braziers is the Anubis one currently.
Okay, I'm gonna go look at the Anubis one and
I'll accompany her, please.
like just really like I'm actually gonna have like my weapons out
Mm-hmm.
and be really like
What weapon do you have, by the way?
I have rapier.
Rapier, that's what I thought.
I got a rapier, yeah.
Just double check.
So I'm gonna like approach it. Like we're used to trickery coming from the circus, so I'm just like, if this was in a show, boy oh boy, would something be happening over here. I just wanna.
As she's getting closer, and she gets closer and closer, I'm going to say, you better watch out. That was the god for the judge of the dead. I'll try and spook her.
As
You
you
try to-
midway walking to the fire, he says, "The judge of the dead," and you turn back around.
I'm even more scared. Can I investigate it?
Yeah,
what you-
absolutely. I wish anybody else knew. Actually, Zinnia, roll an insight real quick. You've spent time with him.
19.
19. Sounds good. What'd you get, Jackie?
18.
18. You thoroughly recognize the team is just trying to scare Summer, and that he has no idea who this is.
I'm gonna let it slide.
Sounds good. Summer, you more cautiously, rapier out and ready to strike if need be, walk further and further down the sands, getting closer, further down, making these statues seem much larger as you're at the feet of them. Being that you're like 3 feet tall, you essentially go up to the ankle of this Anubis-like statue now in front of you, even further solidifying your fear that these things will come to life and squish you. As you take a look up, you take your rapier and basically do a ding, like a tuning fork thwack on its sandstone toe, as the resounding kink, kink, kind of echoes in this chamber. There's no movement. You look around for any sort of glyphs that maybe would be magical to indicate that this thing might come to life. There's more hieroglyphs around, seemingly mimicking the same tale as outside. However, you don't see anything that indicates that this might come to life. You're fairly confident of that.
Looks pretty good, sis.
Alright. Guys, I think we're safe. I'll keep an eye on him though. I got it. If anything happens, if there's any funny business, I'm onto him.
It's good. You put the fear of you.
The fear
into
of
the
you.
statue.
Robert begins walking down behind you. Yes, very terrifying. Looking up at the statue himself, wanting to get closer to where he can see, holding the torch up to take a look at this thing.
What were these braziers already lit? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe they're waiting for us.
You look further down between these two statues, and what you could kind of see before, you see a lot more obvious now, leads into a hallway with a winding staircase that trails off somewhere that you cannot see.
Well, I mean, we're in here now, right?
Which way, team? Do you have any feeling of this place? Is this a place you've been before?
Team's gonna look around. He's gonna be completely honest. I haven't, to my knowledge, we have not been here before. But if I had a feeling about a certain way to go, can I roll? Trying to think of how to put it. It's like rolling an insight on myself.
Okay. Just trying to check your gut feeling, basically.
Yeah.
What you do then is roleplay your gut feeling. What you think your gut is telling you. You're this character more than I'm your character.
Oh, this is fair. So there's the Sphinxes, there's the Dragonborn, there's the Anubis style statues, which are oddly similar to the sword hilt I have, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And what were the other ones?
The
'Cause there were
carrion
four,
ones.
right?
Carrion.
Carrion.
Do you think
I
there's
don't know.
anything?
It might be a little too obvious to walk into a place that's already pre-lit. But as far as what I know of the Carrions, they are death dealers. They are vultures. This deity. I do not know if it's even a deity. I do not know.
Well, then I
Sir,
think
it's honest.
this way.
Thank you for your honesty.
Where do you point, Salt?
I don't care. Just choose a direction.
No, you're choosing the direction.
All right.
Lit. Oh,
Whatever's
lit.
north. Oh, actually, chat gods. North, east, south, or west.
Yeah. Are we going? Well, we're gonna northeast,
Never
south,
eat
or west
soggy
is
wheat
relative
last time.
here. But yeah, up,
Oh.
right, left, or down. Aristocratic says west, but do we trust the person who got the nat 1 roll
Oh.
on Robert for everybody?
Oh,
Oh, shade. West, east, up, up. All right, first one to 3, we'll say. North. I'm seeing 3 norths. Northern would be the not the sorry, I have it. One sec, I have it on a paper here.
3 ups.
3 up.
Up. North.
3 up. What up?
Up.
3 up is the carrion.
Done.
Oh,
Carrying it
sweet.
is.
Yes,
As
we
team's
go.
like, that sounds like that. That sounds very bad. I think this is not a good place to go. And Salt's like,
Salt's like, yep, that's where we're going.
we're going there. That's what they want you to think.
Are the braziers lit for the carrion?
Nope, just under the Anubis.
Should we light them? See what
Mm.
happens.
What do you
Oh.
reckon, team? It's your area of expertise.
Yeah.
While I pick
Why
up
not?
the
I'm going to use
the other torch that was
prestidigitation
on
and
the
light
ground.
it.
From a distance?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's got a
From
I
a
think it's got a
distance.
distance on it.
Prestidigitation.
You were-
I think
Let me
is
double
like
check on
30
that.
feet or something.
From 10 feet away, I light the braziers.
Zinnia,
Team, you were.
Yeah.
Oh, team, you were saying it's something the god's guided by light, right? Or the god is
It's a sun god, right? It's all about the light.
This is what it says.
lighting them. Seems like a good idea. That's it.
As Zinnia
Good
says
idea.
that, that's when you light up the braziers a little bit further away, about 10 feet away. As you do, you light both of them up. Doing so, you see a light as if a torch has been lit coming from the stairway between the carrion.
Oh, cool. Auto lighting. That's a pretty good trip, team. How'd you do that?
Same way I made, and then he's gonna stop as he's thinking about the porridge, and not bring that up.
Oh, oh. F in the
Um,
chat.
And he's gonna look and say,
Porridge boy.
"We could always light all the braziers in here and see what happens."
Cool
Bam, bam,
idea.
bam, bam.
Do you do so?
Oh yeah.
I don't have a spell to do it. I'm just doing this.
And just saying bam, 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 bam. As you
No, when
suggest
you're-
light it, you say
Pew,
bam,
pew,
bam, bam,
pew,
like,
pew.
and looking over to team, like, do it.
Um,
Bam.
Can I help with Sacred Flame, even though it's flame like radiance? It's not actually flame.
I'm pretty. No, we're gonna say
Probably
no,
not.
purely
Yeah.
because
Why
that kind of
have I never
defeats the,
thought of this.
that defeats
I'm
the
an
point of
archer.
his prestidigitation.
Oh.
What'd
yeah.
you say?
Ready?
I'm
Ready?
an archer. Why did I not think of this? I take out my short bow and throw on an arrow, and prestidigitation, the tip of the arrow on fire.
As you- Are you gonna shoot
To
the
each
other
of the
ones?
braziers. Yeah.
Like a ceremonial pyre to the other 4 braziers. Kind of continuously. As you hit the 2 near the Sphinx, a similar light appears down the stairway, lighting up the stairs itself. Do the same thing over to the Dragonborn, lighting up. As you hit the last arrow, lighting up the last brazier in the room, you all suddenly hear as if a great bellowing flame, as you all see many hanging, almost like lanterns, but hanging braziers by chains, oil from within this room specifically, light up as suddenly this room is lit as if it was broad daylight from the inside. The braziers going around each little ring and each what would be the levels of the pyramid as it goes up further and further towards the top there. As Robert holds the torch and hands it back over to you, team, as if like
I out the
I make a
torch
quick
and put
comment
it
to
back in
team.
my bag.
you stick
I
it
do
in
bel-
the sand.
Hey Drew, I didn't see you shoot the arrow back in session 1, did I? When you took the apple.
No, I don't think you had the perception
No.
for it.
So I turn to team and I go, "Oh, so you can use that? I thought it was decoration about the bow."
Hey
Stick around, you
guys.
might see it used more often.
Awesome.
It's rather ironic that we have a sphinx in the room, and it was almost as if it was the riddle to light this place up.
Do
The whole
you
sun god
think?
and things.
Do you think that maybe I know we agreed that we were going to go down the big bird thing, right? But like obviously someone had to come and light those braziers, right? And then they probably went down that path. Should we? Do we want to? Are we looking for them? What if it was? What if it was Robert's brother?
Robert's eyes kind of. It could be. Maybe he sought refuge this way. We should go. You have a good point. You speak wisdom.
Can he light stuff? Oh, yeah, probably, right? You guys are dragons.
We are black dragonborns. We do not have the gift of flame.
Deal more
yeah.
with acid.
Do you have a gift of
Right.
flint and tinder?
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Do you have a gift of flint and tinder?
I do have that.
Yeah.
It seems to be lit, though. I don't see any problem with
I'm
this.
a bit like, would your brother have had that to light the torches?
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Possibly.
Yeah, we think pretty quick.
He's more prepared than I am most times. He might have, yes. Yes, this
Let's
this
go.
could be him. We should go.
As Robert starts to, as you have this idea in his head that this could be his brother now, he's going to start walking that way.
I'll scurry ahead as quick as I can too.
Be careful and watch for traps. I have not seen any, but walking in recklessly is not
Do
always
your
the
people
best
do
idea.
traps?
I do not know how to disarm traps, but we are in a strange place that just magically lit fire. The chances
Yeah.
that there might be traps here.
It seems very welcoming.
be
Perhaps that was a gift by its forebearers that they want us to be able to find our way.
Is the
That's a
sun
really-
god a trap god?
Do not know.
Cheeky?
It would probably be best if we
Are they also
At least-
archaeologists?
Not
sent
architects.
the archaeologists.
They were architects. You're archaeologists.
We study their architecture, which really makes us architects also.
Right.
I'll add it to my list of things.
I'm just imagining Salt with a business card by the end of this. Alphabetically.
I love it.
Architect, archaeologist, artist, arson.
Arsonist.
Everything with an A, I got it.
I got it. You want letter A? I got it. Got it.
Assault, I can do that real good.
Yeah. Ooh.
Assault.
Is that a GFY?
No, I already got one.
We're really bad
Exactly.
time.
Right.
What I am trying to say is that we should not go in with reckless abandon, and at least keep our wits about us in this unfamiliar place that none of us know anything about.
But it worked when we got the spear.
That is because you are very shifty in a good way.
You know
Robert.
it.
No offense, by
A shifty.
Pulls
With an
out
A.
his spear.
I
So,
was going to call out to my brother. Should I not yet?
oh, probably don't do that. No.
Okay, I won't. But I will keep my wits about me.
He kind of puts the spear under his arm there, and
Just in case. Whatever that was comes back.
Yeah, Salt, do you want to scout ahead again?
You got it, sis.
Or just wait for him to whistle at us?
you
Sorry.
And
start heading down.
Yes. And as soon as I enter, I guess, scout mode, and I'm a bit further, everyone else, I'll go into the trying to keep my wits about me and see what the heck's going on.
Sounds good. Zinnia team, what are you doing?
I was actually going to look over to Zinnia. What do you feel about this place?
I was trying to think if her gut would speak to her, but I don't think. I don't know. It's a little bit suspicious, but I'm also very curious.
It is very odd that we come across this place buried in the sands. And there is already braziers lit.
And with a spear that might be related to it too.
I just hope this is no trap. And the team's gonna move forward.
I'll follow.
Team and Zinnia follow after Salt, but in a much more cautious way. Salt, you're already heading down as they're talking
Everything
about
just
this.
falls into our laps as usual, so I'm used to this. It's all good.
Fate, as if there's some
Living
sort
in the
of
moment.
god of gossip and chatter watching out for you. Though not today, not more making fun of you, I guess.
Always watching out for me.
Yeah,
I
at
mean,
least
if
always
they hadn't
watching.
watched out for me, we wouldn't be here right now.
As you begin going down this kind of winding staircase, you see those kind of hanging chain braziers, much like before, but smaller ones, just enough to kind of light this area. You don't need it, of course. You have fantastic dark vision.
Like
however,
rat-sized ones.
Yeah. Very, very, very tiny. Just enough to give light to be able to see your path here without really needing the dark vision. As you're going down, roll me a perception check.
Bree dice for the win.
Ugh.
It's alright, Bree. It's a good roll. It's 16 plus perception, which is 18.
Solid. As you're going by, you're mostly just kind of watching out as you go through. You're familiar with sneaking into things. This is not your first rodeo, as it were. You're going down. You see that there appears to be a small bundle, a coiled, wrapped up, a very, very thin string or wire that's connected to a hole in the wall, as if it was snapped. You look around, and there are tiny slots in the wall, round holes leading up, following this thing. However,
This would
there's
make a
right
really
on the
good
ground.
trap. I could wire that up there and stick things in there.
You very well might. Who knows what it does?
Yeah.
But it seems to have already been tripped.
What a waste. Alright, well, I'll continue down.
Sounds good. You keep going on further. This staircase winds for a decent ways, probably about as far as it was when you were coming down the ladder itself. However, every now and again, as you're turning, it goes to like a straight forward path before turning again, going straight, rotating, kind of going back and forth as if going down but going out in some direction, right? As you keep going. You're getting further and further down. Team Zinnia, roll me a perception check as you go.
13.
13.
10.
10. You all continue running down the stairway before you eventually see the same kind of zigzag pattern as it kind of turns and goes further and further down. Before Salt, you get towards the end of this. You can see a open pathway at the end of the stairway now that is in this open kind of straight and narrow shot here. Roll me one more perception.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah, Salt.
gotcha.
Oh,
Sorry.
dang.
Whoa, good roll. Now we're on it. 19 plus perception is 120.
20. Solid. You can hear in the distance, as you're walking, it kind of catches you, and you stop for a second. You hear a voice. Sounds like a male voice, speaking common, coming from around the corner. It sounds still far away, quite a ways, but you do hear something.
So I
It's
will
very faint.
turn back quickly and do my my whistle up, saying something's amiss, as opposed to everything's fine.
Instead of
can
the
only do two
everything's
whistles.
fine, do 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 whistle.
Dun dun whistle.
Yeah, it's very ominous as you do so. Summer, you then hear the hey, something's going on with you and Robert holding back up top. Team and Zinnia, you hear the whistle. Though you're not familiar with what that whistle specifically means, you think it more could mean like, hey, come here. As it's not far off from the corner from where you were, so you kind of speed up just a little bit. Oh my god, I just saw the level up dice Red Wagon emote. I love it on chat. So sorry. Ooh, look at that little red wagon.
Aw.
Sorry, I distracted you.
No, it's perfect. As you
Teeth
round the
raised
corner,
up.
you see Salt standing down there, fingers in his hand, whistling up towards you all. Salt, you see your companions, Team and Zinnia, around the corner.
I'm kind of like mouthing, "Why are you here?"
Robert, we gotta get those guys back. Something is not right. And quickly and
okay.
quietly run
See,
to try and.
holds his spear out more in a battle position. He puts his shield up just in case.
And I'm kind of like,
As he's heading on further and further down with Summer. Team, you and Zinnia now see Salt doing that. What are you doing?
Hold.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
stopping there. You hear the footsteps eventually. Summer, you and Robert are going at a quick pace as you run down this way. Eventually, Zinnia team, you hear the footsteps of your companions coming down the sandstone here. Before Summer, you're running very quickly. Robert sees something coming. He holds his spear up, ready to strike, but you see your companions there as he kind of pulls his spear back. As Robert talks, says,
I'm sorry, I didn't know. Sorry.
he's quite loud as he, boisterous dragonborn that he is.
Sorry, I was just concerned.
amateurs.
Fine, let's try and be really quiet. Salt, what's going on?
Oh, sorry. What is going on?
What? Oh,
And then I'm gonna creep up towards the voices a bit more.
Okay. You turn around the corner here. You go up to the edge and on the side. When you look, you appear to be entering a room that leads, you're kind of on the back, as if the staircase goes down in the very center, leading towards the back corner of this room. As you turn and look to the side, those Anubis statues that you saw before, I'm just going to say Anubis, it's easier for ease of description. Anubis statues that you saw before seem to be lining the wall, several of them, maybe about 10 feet tall, made out of sandstone, just like that you saw before. Almost like the terracotta warriors in that one Japanese cave that
about one
Japanese,
elephant.
Chinese, not sure. Yeah, about one elephant. As they all stand there, same thing, hand out, shepherd's crook, up, holding as if marking a way on both sides. You look to the left and to the right. There appear to be a bunch lining this wall here. As you peer out and over, look further down, and you see it's lit up just as the rest of the room was before, but it leads to this kind of bunch of Anubis kind of peter out into almost like a triangle, leading down to another corridor and a hallway going further ahead. It's dark. You don't see anybody. You look over to the other side of the room, and you don't see anybody there. The voice must be coming further from down that hallway.
So the voice kind of disappeared now, so to speak.
It might just be further down than you originally were thinking. It's currently quiet.
All right, I'll scurry back and give an update to the team. There's a giant room, like 10, 15, 20 Anubises, about 1 elephant high, lots of light. I can't see anything, but I heard some voices before. Yeah, I think there's someone down here, but I'm not sure where, but it's a really big room. So maybe we should go look at the room together.
Just one elephant high?
Just 1 elephant high, definitely not 40.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
That
a lot easier to
elephants
handle 1 elephant.
Elephants aren't generally that tall, though. Is it quite a small, like a low room, or?
No, it's a big room. It's got like these statues, lots of them, like the ones we saw before, but they're smaller statues. Only 1 elephant.
Okay. Oh, the statues are one elephant, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
not the room. Okay. Is it
Team,
safe for us to come?
Do you think
I don't know. I heard a voice, but I couldn't find it.
Zania, what were you saying?
I was gonna ask Team if Otta can like scope it out while we wait back here.
Who's
This is
Atta?
something Atta can do. Atta, wake up! And he's gonna slap his sternum.
It sounds kind of like a xylophone, just because that's funny when skeletons have xylophone ribs. Boom, bing. As it does, Atta kind of looks up, and all of you hear kind of a deep, horrifying growl as he says, "Hey!"
Morning.
Good morning, friend.
He crawls out of your
I
chest
need
cavity
you.
and onto the ground.
Eda Habib, Yatiru, Nozdruton, and Rahioton. So he's telling him to go look while flying.
Without flying?
Scope out the room. With flying.
While flying. Okay, so just couldn't hear what he said. So he says,
Okay. Should be back in a jiffy.
as he does a little flap up and begins kind of gliding. If you've seen Coco, where like the dog gets the wings and basically is kind of like floating there while those wings kind of pick his body up and fly him forward, as he begins going towards what you described from before, as Robert says, "What is that beast?" As it kind of growls at him like, "Rrr," and he's like, "Hey there."
Hi.
He was just being friendly. Do not worry, Robert.
He sounds vicious, but I trust you. He looks... could be related.
As Atta begins flying further and further. You all kind of do the Scooby-Doo peer out on the side, where you look your heads out to see where Atta's going, and Atta flies further and further over before Atta kind of disappears off into this hallway. You begin to hear kind of a hushed voice, Salt. The voice returns. All of you can hear it now, actually, now that you're down here. But you hear kind of a whisper in common before Atta comes flying back over rather quickly, much faster than it was before. And it comes and lands on the ground near all of you and begins horribly growling and screeching at you. See, as Atta says,
Oh my God. Okay. Do you remember the people that we saw on the Santa bus? Yeah, there's 2 of them. Sorry, I don't know their names. There's 2 of them sitting there. One of them seems to be in bad
were
shape.
they the ones with the horns?
Oh yeah, they've got horns, all right.
Thank you, Atta.
No problem.
Did he find anything?
Man.
Ada looks to, or Ada, team looks to the group, and he says, Ada, in a hushed voice. I can't really do his accent in a hushed voice, but I'm gonna try. He says, Ada went ahead, and he saw two people with horns that he said he saw on the Syntabus sitting with us. I am believing it to be the tieflings.
Only two?
Only two.
Where's the third one?
Didn't one get sucked up into the sand?
I don't know. I was legging it.
Oh, you were.
Common
yeah.
theme.
I saw sand.
I mean, how many of us are there versus two? We could take them.
Do you think they're bad?
I did not get a good vibe from them, and if they turn out to
Oh.
be bad, I think we could take them on.
Yeah, they have a couple of belt pouches.
Does it feel like someone is really trying to get us to interact with these tieflings? Because they just seem to be popping up everywhere.
I don't know why that.
Jack God.
I'm
Wow.
I direct this.
Who knows,
directly
really?
At Salt. I say, who knows? They might be archaeologists just like you.
That's why they look
Learn
familiar.
from them.
Are we approaching this as a dangerous situation, or are we trying to be friends with these guys?
I think we should at least see what they are doing first.
Okay.
Take some balls to come into a place like this with only two people.
Yeah.
Okay. That way.
Heading on off.
I'll make sure I'm pointing towards not up the stairs. Yes.
Okay, that way. Let's book it.
And we're out.
And we like it. Can we, guys? Let's try and be a little bit sneaky.
Oh, okay. Oh, we'll try.
I'll show you how. And I go and hide.
Salt quickly ducks under his coat and around the corner very, very fast. I mean, you're currently looking at him as he does it, so it's very quick, and you see him turn, but he's not hidden, as it were, as they're directly watching you as you do it. Salt, you turn around the corner and you see the bunch of Anubai holding off like hands over this way, this empty floor out and towards you. Where are you all headed? What are you doing? Just heading in?
Sneakily.
What's the marching order? Who's going in first? No reason.
Other than Salt.
I'll go first.
Salt and team headed first?
Yeah.
Sounds
I'm
good.
gonna hang out in the middle.
Middle, Zania.
Yeah, I'll take the back. That way, Robert can be in between.
Okay. Robert will go with you, Summer, then Zania, you head into the back. Team and Salt, you start heading that way. As you do so, this sandstone floor, you take a step and you suddenly feel the weight below you, Salt and team, move as if this was almost like a pressure switch as it moves down below your feet. Team and Salt, I need a dex saving throw.
I'm shocked he's next to me. I thought I scurried really quickly.
Oh, is that a trap?
That's a 17.
The irony.
17.
12 plus 5.
Give me 2 seconds. My
No worries.
thing kicked me out. It's a +3 anyway. Hey,
Ooh.
Hey.
That's a 5 plus 3.
Solid. Salt, you are quickly familiar with dodging traps, able to, you just jump back instinctually as you are already kind of light on your feet. As team, you're more caught off with your heavy armor and off balance as the hand of the Anubai there begins to glow red and a scorching ray flies out forward. Salt, you're able to dodge it. However, team, you take the brunt of this hit, taking 9 points of fire damage as this blast of fire hits right into your shoulder, knocking you back onto your ass onto the ground. As the Anubis hand begins to not glow anymore, and you can see its fingers retract.
Rude.
As you all suddenly have a much more appreciative look for this room.
I said like me.
Well, the irony is real. Was I not the one who said to look for traps? Here I am, burnt to a crisp.
Well, we were kind of relying on you to look.
I do no such thing.
You didn't let me
You're
go
right.
first.
You don't have eyeballs.
Let me trigger them all for you.
Okay.
Do you, let me trigger them all for you. What does that mean?
Well, that means I should be scouting up first, looking for them all. Sort of kind of like a reminder of, hey, I'm light and I can find these so you don't hurt yourself.
Sounds good. Those of you who all just saw what happened, etc. I need everybody to roll me a perception check real quick.
Oh, boyo.
Roll mine at disadvantage.
Jeez. 5.
Ooh.
My rolls today are amazing. I love them.
This giveaway die is
Solid.
solid.
Oh man, I would enter that giveaway if I could.
No, you're not allowed. No good roll.
This is like the fourth one I
You
have
got a
rolled.
1.
I got another one.
A solid one again. Great. What did-
Three.
Those are the giveaway dice
Different
for next week.
Different dice. I'm gonna give them away. These
Nah.
are the random encounter astral titans, and I'm
Ooh.
gonna send them all the way back.
So 3 from you, Zanio. What'd you get?
23.
23. Team and Salt.
I
5.
rolled mine at disadvantage and got a 5.
Okay. Sounds good. Zania, being the only one who rolled anything worth a damn, look around at the floor as Salt and Team, Salt specifically, is like, let me show you how to, and begins walking forward as you stop and you say, hold on. There seems to be symbols on the floor. Maybe we should hold on for just a moment. As you look on the ground, each of the sandstone tiles before you has a different symbol on it. Appear to be 4 symbols going across the room. There's one of the sun, there's one of a skull, there's one of crops, and there's one of a pyramid.
Which one's the one that team just stepped on?
Team and Salt, as you both just got your world rocked. Well, Team did. Salt jumped away quickly. Just roll a general intelligence check to see what you remember,
Sure.
as you had to jump off quickly.
I'm pretty good at remembering. I rolled a 20 total, not the roll.
20. Team.
Oh,
Oh.
I figured I'm still standing on it.
Oh,
Get off!
I can't see from this angle, but
do you want to still be
What?
standing on it? Because we can make that work too.
I mean, nah. That was that was a normal 10 plus 3, so 13.
Sounds good. Team, as you got hit with the fire, that was immediately a oh god. You just backed away as quickly as you could. Salt, however, first thing about trap knowledge is remember where the trap was. You seem to have stood on the skull.
well, that makes sense. I mean, skulls. Well, I don't know. Are you a flaming guy too? You're a skull.
I am no.
I guess you're kind of flaming at the moment.
As he's like wiping off like ashes and embers off of him.
It's like,
No,
no.
I am no flaming skull. I am just
And we probably stay off the
skeleton
flaming
man that is
skull.
charred.
You can take a point, Salt. That was good. Flaming skull. You were literally
Thank
a
you.
flaming skull. Love it.
Yay! I'll use it in the next roll anyway, because I'm that bad.
There you go.
I'm sorry, I kind of wasn't paying attention. What happened? Are we? Yeah, I was just looking at this wall over
Drew
here.
got a 10.
How did
Sorry,
you get-
Team
how did
got a
you get
10.
burnt? How'd you get so burnt? Man, it's really hard to see past you guys.
So tall.
I stepped on this plate, and that statue over there threw a fire thing at my face. It did not
Whoa.
feel good.
There are
I
4
don't
different
know
places.
I advise.
Don't know how I missed that.
We'll say that you just came around the corner. Like, sorry, I was busy.
She was communing with chat god.
Yeah.
The one gets up.
Anytime we miss something because we're reading chat, I'm just communing with chat god.
What happened? What?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Chat
RP.
god will tell me
Okay, I'm
in
one.
15 more seconds.
Oh, obviously, the
Heavy
skull is a
body.
bad thing.
Yes, yeah, that was what I was going to say.
Just don't step on the skull.
Okay, should we step on the others?
All 3 at the same time?
I don't see any way not to step on something.
Okay,
could
so
jump?
there's food? Is that what that is? There's one that's food, there's one that's a skull, which is obviously bad.
It's a pyramid and a sun.
Can
Did
we?
you step on the sun and get burnt?
I don't
I'm
think
going to go ahead and step onto the sun.
so.
You look over at the Anubis and slowly put your foot down onto it. As you do so, you can do it at advantage, expecting it and watching it this time, but you need another dex save as its hand opens up, and very Iron Man, another beam of fire comes flying out towards you.
So if we stand...
What are you doing? Only the
22.
penitent man can pass. It's gotta
18?
be up.
Correct.
22.
22. This time, expecting it, you literally put your foot down and move right back as the fire flies by and is caught by the other Anubis in its hand before both of their hands seal shut one more time.
Interesting. I would have thought that sun is what we were told to stay in. No, would have been the one.
How many
to-
blocks of these do we have in front of us? It was like 10 Anubises, wasn't it?
Yeah, this whole kind of chamber is about 30 feet long. 10 Anubises kind of standing side by side by side by side.
So
all
can I just
hands
run
up.
up the Anubises and go around the outside?
You want to try and climb over and around them?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not? You, instead of going on these things, you attempt with your ratfolk-like ability to just climb over the side of them. It's just like walking on the ground for you, basically, as you move your way over and rat scurry your way up and over their arms, etc. They don't appear to react to this.
This.
As you
Yeah, I whisper
This
back to
or
the
a
group.
bird.
move on
That's
over
why we
to the
keep him
wall
in the group.
and jump your way onto the little hallway there with no markings down below you.
I was wondering if we stand on the crop one, if it'll like shoot food out at us. Do you think? And someone's gonna put her foot on the crop and like open her mouth.
Oh God.
I'll give you a point for
Except the
playing
light.
your character in the RP well. As
I
you
might need it for this deck save.
as you step your hand onto the crop, the hand pulls back as the Anubis bows before you.
That's my sis.
Thank you. No food? Okay. And I move on.
There's kind of checkerboard pattern throughout here. You kind of have to jump between each of these crop ones to actively make it. So as you're trying to make your way over there, some of them are pretty far away from each other. I need you to do a acrobatics check.
No worries. Some worries. 17 though.
No
'Cause
worries
wait-
at all. As you are a familiar rat folk with jumping, you get on all fours and just hop from one agriculture or crop tile to the next until you make your way on over to the hallway where Salt stands.
There was no grub in there, brother.
Why didn't you just climb along with me?
Oh, I really was hoping that we'd get some food.
I'd give her my apple.
Oh. As you all see the rat folk over there eating and waiting for you to come across this summer. Come on!
The food's okay, guys.
As you yell out, you
Are you
hear
yelling out? No.
you hear those voices again behind you, hushed and quieted, but
I sort of
closer this
Put my
time.
hand over her mouth, but not quick enough.
As you have her hand over, you can feel her chewing on the apple still. Right, what are the rest of you doing?
After using you.
I guess is Robert in front of me though, so I guess Robert gotta, or am I gonna lead in front of Robert? I'll lead in front of Robert. I don't want him to take the hit.
ladies first.
As he holds a spear out for you. Roll me a acrobatics.
All right, come on, cat-like reflexes, acrobatics.
Literally.
That is. Oh, that's a 7.
7. It's not a very hard jump to make these things as you jump from one to the other. You're very tall as you go from one tile to the next. Knowing which tiles to do is the important thing here as you jump across the agriculture tiles and make your way over to the other side. Robert then
That's
follows.
another thing I can do starting with A. I'm an agriculturalist.
Same thing. Makes it all the way over to the other side. Team, it's your go.
Oh. Yeah. Hey, that's an 8.
Still good enough to make it through. You hopscotch your way across the agriculture tiles, making your way into this very small, maybe 15-foot long hallway. It's about 10 feet wide.
Jesus.
What are we doing?
I mentioned
we
the voices
continue
were that way,
on.
and now they've stopped.
Do you think they heard me?
Robert holds his
I
spear up.
profusely nod my head up and down.
Got really distracted by the food.
It's okay.
I'm gonna make my way up front again, and this time actually pay attention to the floor.
I will try to be in front of team again. Like, dude, I got you.
Roll a perception for both of you up front.
You know my perception's bad. Ooh,
I'm on team dice.
16.
Fuck.
You've taken my curse.
What'd you get? Solid 1. Love it. Ooh, man, I'm loving today. As team, you start walking forward. Salt's like, I got this. Salt, you lean forward, and same thing before. You pick up a small wire that looks like it's been tripped recently. As you kind of show him that, be careful for traps on the ground, and you point out the holes in the wall next to you, just the
No
same way as you
trap.
did before.
It's just string.
You then both begin walking
Idiot.
forward, leading the group to the end of the hall. Same kind of thing, except this time there's only one direction to go. It leads off to the left here.
That way.
There appears to be another flame coming from inside this next room that you plan to be going into. Are you going to go ahead and round the corner, or what are we doing?
I'm going to try to be, if I can be at least one step ahead of team and sort of scout as much as I can scout with this
I'm
giant
gonna let him.
skeleton following me.
Sounds good. So what are you doing? How are you going forward?
I'm going to lean over and sort of signal my hand backwards towards him, sort of saying like, wait,
Hold on.
while I try to sneak through and have a look.
As you peer your head around the corner. Give me 1 second. Oh,
Oh
Right.
no.
Don't know how I feel about the O. Should we activate GFY?
Oh,
don't know how I
no.
feel about the air. Right, as you round the corner, suddenly you look forward and you see a familiar face, the tiefling man that you saw that was kind of roughed up against you from before, holding out his blade in his armor as his hand reaches forward, much like the Anubis, but in a very different way, as he shoots out a jet of black energy that pelts you in the face with force energy, knocking you back as you take 8 points of force damage.
Wow. Well, I will.
As you do that in common, he yells out, "Hold! Who goes there?" You can't see him now,
Okay.
but you hear his voice. "Show yourself!"
I'm gonna reply and go, dude, it's us. It's from the bus, the bus. And try to step out and just show him everything else. That really hurt my nose. But hey, we found someone else who's alive. That's amazing, dude. How did you survive? What's going on? Where are we? What are these lights? What's going on?
Move
Oh
no
my
further.
God.
Move no further, Ratling.
It's you. You remember me? Look. I give him my best smile on my face. Well, it's me.
You already have a pointer. I'd give you one. As he holds his hand out and his sword,
Bus.
he pulls his hand back. You can see now next to him is the female tiefling from whom you saw before, laying on the ground, head back, leaned up against the sandstone.
Oh my god, what happened to her? Hey, we can help her. We've got a priest healer thing that can really make it all good. Dude, I've got my other friends. They're with me. They just ran the corner. Let me.
You have a
bring them
healer.
over. Yeah.
Bring them here.
You're alive. I can't believe it. I'm alive.
Please help.
Kind of. My nose is kind of hurting, but thank you. Ow. But I'll get
sorry.
it fixed up. It's all good.
Bring your healer here. As he drops his sword cling, cling, on the ground. You all can hear this conversation that's going on. They're very loud in this echoey chamber currently. As he asks you to bring your healer forward. As he drops his sword down here and sits next to the female tiefling and kind of.
I'm hoping
holds her
my
up, her
team
head
can hear
leaning
me and
back.
they'll step in when they need to. I'm just gonna keep going and sort of, yeah, okay, cool. This way, guys. Hello, over here. As I slowly walk towards him and check
Can
him
we?
out.
Y'all can hear all of this, but you're still in the hallway until you tell me otherwise.
Let's go. I'm going to the room.
Okay. Everybody.
Yes, team.
I also want to use it.
I believe
Medusa
these
in
people
chat
are
just
in
went,
need of your
are you an
help."
archaeologist too?
Wonderful. Medusa, you get a point.
Yeah, Medusa gets a point of inspiration for sure.
Right. Summer, you come around the side as he says, are you the healer? Come here, please. I need your help. She's dying.
No, she's just coming. I can try and stabilize her with I know some first aid.
Please, whatever you can do.
I'll get the bone guy to give you first aid.
Summer, you
wanna
and
go
Salt
over
walk over to the two tieflings. He's there with the female one kind of perched in his lap as he's holding her head up. And he's like, they're going to help. They're going to help. As you look over, she appears to have burn marks on her arm and several small puncture wounds off to the side. Down on the ground, you can see several darts that must have been pulled from her body that are laying currently on the ground here. As he's like, please, I have no skill in medicine. I need your help, my lady.
Yeah, but you have the skill, the
try and-
opposite thing of medicine.
I try and help out until our healer gets there, but I rolled an 8, so I'm just like, it's fine. I'm just like putting my hands over it, like
Charm
we are
person,
going to
it's
get
fine.
someone. We are going to get someone that is much better at. Hey guys, we need some help.
Robert kind of looks at you two like, will you not help? Oh, you're heading over there? Okay. I didn't hear one thing or another, so I'm going to assume no until you tell me otherwise. Yeah, so
I think
both
we
of
were
y'all...
talking over each other.
Oh, okay,
I'll
gotcha.
casually check out what
apologies
sort of
then.
loot they have on them as well.
Zinnia, team, you round the corner with Robert. Salt, you can do a quick investigation.
Okay, so I'm gonna run over to her, and then I'm gonna cast my cantrip, Spare the Dying, and then I'm going to cast Prayer of Healing because that takes 10 minutes. So I want to spare her before 10 minutes takes too long. But that way I can heal a bunch of us, just because all of us got messed up by the
My
This
nose.
is lovely. Thank you.
So up to 6 people. I'm gonna include myself. Anyone else need
I
healing?
think everybody has taken damage at this point, correct?
Is there 6 of us? There's 4 of
There's
5
7
of
of us.
5 of y'all. Well, not
then
including
there's-
Atta.
Or the
Yeah.
I
penguin.
think Robert's the only one that's only taken emotional damage.
Robert had to be revived.
Yeah, he's taking
Yeah.
a lot of damage.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. Okay.
Emotional and physical damage.
I
Damn.
can do us 5 and then her.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right.
You run over as soon as you see her. Summer's basically trying to put pressure on the wound type thing as you run over, as you move your hand away, as you place your paw under her neck and begin to cast a spell, asking Cumulonimbus for his guidance, as basically like a shock paddle hits her in the chest as he kind of freaks out for a second, but she kind of... You can see her breath kind of return to her there as you tell everyone, hold on, let me work my magic. It will take me but a moment, but I will
So
attempt to
on
heal
the
us.
10 minutes I'm working on her. We do get 8 plus 7 plus 3, so 18 points back for everybody.
Wow.
Solid.
My nose, it's shiny again.
And then while we're
You
healing, I'm
are
just gonna ask
Joaldine.
no problem, of course. my team, and then I'm going to just ask like what happened. Was it the god? Was it this temple? Is there anything else we should be careful for right now?
There's things in the wall.
He kind of takes a moment of breath as you are healing her now. He kind of leans back. We ran away from the great beast. Here in this thing, it showed itself in the sand. It was the first thing we could do was to try and get here. We thought it wouldn't be able to follow us into the entrance. We've heard noises from inside here after we came in. We don't know what it is, what it was. We're just trying to get as far away as possible. In our haste, we tripped wires and ran along the path and burned ourselves, and she was struck by the darts. She led the way. I think poison had entered her veins and began taking hold. Can you save her?
She'll be fine. She'll be fine. It'll just take a few minutes, but she will be fine.
Good. I'm sorry, Rattling, for the blast. I thought you were something coming after us.
I get that a lot. It's fine. It's fine. I'm kind of scary. I get it.
He takes his sword off the ground, just trying to move it out of your way, and stows it back. How did you survive? It's been hours. How did you survive out there with that thing?
Because we're archaeologists.
Is that what because we're archaeologists?
I don't know. Why not? Let's go for it. That sounds like what salt would do, because
See.
that's salt. I'm
Yeah,
funneling salt at the moment.
We were
Yep,
channeling the sand, seeking shelter underground, just like true archaeologists, and then we dug ourselves out.
I thought we were here first, but you just buried yourself in the sand like an ostrich?
It's a well-known technique down under. Yeah.
Hmm.
Your kind is far wiser than I give you credit for, and for that I apologize.
Sorry, composure coming back. Yes, we are, but we could show you the ways later. Let's worry about your friend and then see what else is down here.
Agreed. It's my wife. You didn't happen to see the other one of us out there, did you?
I thought he may be with you.
We lost him. It's her brother. She's distraught. As
Not a good day.
Robert speaks up. I lost my brother too. Well, I'll help you find the body, if that is what it comes to. I'm hoping that mine survived as well. I thought he might have come down here with you all. To be honest, I was hoping that the flames that you lit would lead me to my brother and not to you. Though I am glad to see another survivor. No, I heard something else in the pyramid, but nothing that would lead me to believe that it was any of you all. We heard horrible screeching and a roar from within. Further down, we chose not to go down the other paths. I don't know if this was the right choice, as obviously you can see it's not a great choice, but we feared the others.
Got you. Oh, don't fear. We're here. Yeah, that rhymes.
Do not fear, the archaeologists are here.
Huzzah.
So you heard other voices?
Yeah, they spoke in a language I did not comprehend, but they were deep and coming from further down. I don't
Deep
know where
like
they went.
Dragonborn deep?
No, almost like a deep breath of the wind. I don't know how to explain it.
Do you feel safe here?
For the time, I hadn't gone but much further down. As you all are now getting a further look into this room here, you are currently. What's up?
Sorry. I was saying, I'm just waiting for Team to give them some porridge and make them more familiar.
Feel better.
Come to our
Now
group.
we're friends, now that you've had better porridge. By the way, have I mentioned our sponsor for tonight's stream? Better porridge. It's like porridge. But better.
Better.
Come join us. You'll adventure and lose a brother. Oh wait, just
Oh,
Man, you're really asking for the GFY. I may have to give it to you.
I should get one for that one. for sure.
Yeah,
You should
you're
give
gonna
me
take
GFY.
you're gonna take a Giphy.
Yeah, that's bad. That's so bad.
So I'm gonna mark that
assumed.
down. So I can give you a GFY at some point.
Yeah.
Is
Can-
the
Is that
is the
cancelable by the
spreadsheet
inspiration?
being
Oh
the
no,
spreadsheet being manned?
I think so. I forget who was
And-
manning it specifically. It might have been Aurora Anima. So we'll have to see, or Heavenly Aristocratic. I can't remember.
And then is Salt now responsible for the death of of the brother? So that's horrible.
Ooh, I feel like we should also have something on the spreadsheet that's chat kill streak, deaths that they cause.
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah.
this was necessarily their fault.
It's on you, chat. Can we give chat GFYs?
I get to say no. I'm not taking your GFY this time.
The whole chat gets a GFY.
The whole chat.
Well, Medusa has an inspiration point at the moment.
That's true. That's true. She can use it. Right. As you look at the room around you, there appears to be large stone, not like caskets and not like tombs, but they are stone, almost like sealed vaults, I guess, is the best way to put it. They are stuck and part of the ground, as if almost like an old-timey fridge or freezer, something to be preserved within here. Covering this area, there's a small little ramp that kind of goes up, and at the end of each of these are these large stone basins with lids in them that are square and kind of lead like an upside-down pyramid there. Before, at the top, there is another small hallway, which is what he was saying before. And we explored a little bit further. There seems to be nothing but a tomb of sorts further down. I'm not sure if that's even worth going down to. I thought we might try and leave, but the poison started to take hold of her. I was looking for something I could use, but I'm not strong enough to lift the lids off those stones, and so I just panicked.
What do you think, big guy? Turn to team.
I think
Do you think?
this is a lot to take in.
I agree. Zinnia, how goes the spell?
how goes the what?
How goes the spell?
You're like maybe 2 or 3 minutes from done.
I'm almost there.
Should we look ahead, team?
I think it would be worth looking ahead.
Just to make sure that we are truly alone down here.
I think that would be good. You and I can go and take a look.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy to scurry forward.
Salt, you've been doing a good job of that. The 3 of us go check.
While they're going ahead, I kind of want to interview the tieflings.
Yeah, by all means, do it. Currently, only one is conscious, but you interview away.
It's better when only one is conscious,
Ooh.
and then we compare answers later.
Sounds
No, it's like in Last of Us when Ellie and John are like, "Give me an answer, and if you don't match up, you guys are gonna get hurt."
good. Ooh, all right, yeah, I like it.
Okay. And just like while I'm healing her, ask like, I noticed you guys back in the Oasis, back at all the way at the inn. Just saying that your attire is very inconvenient for this weather.
I
Why
agree.
so?
It's hot as hell, I'll tell you that.
So what's with the furs?
We never meant to come to the Scorch in the first place. It just happened. It was a quick turn of events. I hired to come out here and see what we could find in the way of pelts, and make our way back north to our employer.
Employer.
We hunt rare skins, heads, animal components for him. It's a rough line of work, and we should have known that the scorch would be as hot as they truly said, we thought we were tieflings and it wouldn't matter, but it was damn hot. You can roll an insight on that. Summer, you're also in the room.
Hell, yes, I do. Ooh, that's a 19 plus 5, 24.
Summer? Summer is muted again, I bet.
I don't know what to roll. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go amethyst. I haven't used
there you
amethyst today. What? 9. That
You're-
one's on you, Alex.
Summer, you're like, yeah, I mean, people travel quickly. That adds up, and I do that all the time. Zinnia, however, someone from up north, the Scorch is world renowned for being the hottest place in the world. That doesn't add up. If this is their job to travel and get certain pelts, kind of strikes you a bit odd.
Can I see if there's any, like, bruising or scratches on them, like, from, like, went down with something? Other...
Yeah,
No,
roll
but
an
that's hard.
investigation.
Okay. Oops, that's a D12. That's not a D20.
Hey, you can use it if you want.
Probably roll better than my d20.
11 plus -1. That's a 10.
That's a 10. You're not sure if there may have been bruisings, batterings, markings, etc. But with the recent burn marks across them, it's hard to tell.
Any equipment on them that they, like, any obvious archaeology equipment?
Archaeology equipment? No. He has his sword. They don't appear to have a torch or anything like that. She herself doesn't have a weapon on her at all. But he has one of those long, kind of the traditional, like, Chinese swords that are still sharp on both sides, like whatever there was that one movie, it might have been Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where it's like a jade sword. Anybody know what I'm talking about? No? Whatever. Traditional Chinese sword that has, like, it's still sharp on both sides, and it's very straight the whole way up.
Oh.
It's a exotic blade, to be sure.
Ooh, letter opener.
Yeah, letter opener.
I'm gonna keep an eye out.
For them?
Suspicious. Yep.
Sounds good. While that's happening, Salt team and Robert, you move on to the next room while she's kind of grilling them, or him currently, and look to see what he said and was looking for. He's right. Much like the room that you're in now, that kind of goes up with a bunch of not casket. Caskets is a good word, but just that appear to be for storing goods. These appear to have a bunch of casket is probably the better word. Funeral, whatever. Casket. God, I'm so blanking on the names. Vampires sleep at coffins. That's it. Stone coffins. Vampires sleep in them. Stone coffins in the same kind of places as it goes up further and further. There's another room up ahead as this is kind of like ladder going up to one final room up towards the top. But what you can see currently leads to just be a bunch of stone coffins on this zigzaggy path moving upwards.
Okay, we go in.
Can we?
These almost
Checking
appear
for
to
traps.
look like sarcophagi.
That's
Do they
probably
count?
a better word.
Do they count for searching the bodies? Do we get advantage if we investigate those?
If you find some bodies, possibly.
Ooh.
Did you say that you go further on ahead, team?
I
Is that
do.
what you said?
I'm
Oh,
checking
Salt
for
did it.
traps.
Okay. Roll perception.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Salt check for me.
Yeah.
don't
We've gotten
burn
rid of the
again.
curse.
Hey,
19.
19.
You just hurt yourself.
You look around and it doesn't appear to be any specific traps around here. You seem to be safe to go up this
All right.
winding path.
I do the kind of signals forward. Come-
Robert looks at
Yes,
team
okay.
like, what?
I believe that means he wants us to go back there, I think. Like pointing back towards Xenia and Summer.
She's like,
Oh, okay. And he starts kind of like walking backwards.
And I'm like, oi, this way.
oh, okay.
Oh, I
Got
was
it.
wrong. Sorry, Robert. I am still learning.
oh, me as
Would
well.
you believe that? And he looks over to Robert And in Draconic, he says, "Would you believe I've only known these two for, I believe it's only been 2 days now."
Really? I thought you were close companions.
I am close companion with Zinnia, but these two, they are very important. They've helped me out immensely in these last 2 days. I consider them family as well. It is hard to come across people that will actually fight for you.
I agree. Salt, you and Summer must be quite the friends to live, fight, and die for each other. I admire that.
We're sister and brother.
Gotta live for something.
You can see it in the nose, and I twitch my nose a little bit.
I see it.
I could see it in other things too. So he kind of points his spear at the tail and just kind of does a general like that.
But yeah, I think, like we talked about before,
Hey,
we might.
you're not
need
in the
other-
room, Summer.
Well, yeah. So I'll. What of it?
Hold on, I'll go.
What?
Do my best summer voice. Yeah, we.
Yeah, well, we kind of talked about it.
It's all right, mate. You're part of the family now.
Good. We'll watch each other's backs. As he
My
kind of
back's easy to watch. It's only small.
super small.
As he kind of follows you, walking up the path again, looking further ahead. You get to this small little hallway here, which seems to lead into one smaller room at the end. You see a sarcophagi made of stone there that sits alone at the end of the hallway. Do you want to walk further and go into that room?
Sounds like it's a standing yes, right?
Sounds good. The three of
That
you walk
looks like money.
further in, looking around in this room, the four corners, or three corners of this room, much like a pyramid, as there are three Anubai kind of pointing their hands towards the sarcophagus itself, holding up their shepherd's crook. The sarcophagus made of stone has two claws made of stone, not actual claws, but like two little holders, essentially, like a Y shape that lead up on top of it, as if something once was placed on top of this stone sarcophagus that is no longer
Like a
there.
Beer. I just looked at team and go, any idea?
I have none whatsoever.
Me neither.
But we could go check it out. Just don't touch anything.
I don't see any of those dangerousy things. There's nothing you can step on or fall over right now, so it should be good.
As team looks to these statues that are obviously like pointing at the sarcophagus. Oh,
You-
okay.
You look around, seems to be okay, other than the statues does kind of worry you, team, after you got blasted with them twice.
All right.
A little bit more
Not
cautious.
Once, but twice.
They didn't do anything to me, so it should be fine.
Yeah. Just
I
jump.
even crawled all over them, so yeah.
All I gotta do is jump. Easy peasy.
I feel worry for you. You are much smaller. You it would take less to. Never mind. Let's go look at this.
All right. I've got your back, as Robert would say.
I thought you were about to like steal one of my vertebrae.
Look, I've got your back.
Got your back. Oh man, I would end the session early that night. GFYs all around. So, you three walk further towards the sarcophagi that stands there alone. Carved stone, very smooth, with the lid, with the kind of holders on it there. What are you wanting to do in this room?
Does it look like it's more of like an orb shaped thing? Like,
It looks like a kind of a rack for what would be almost like a like you see like a katana or something, where it is a long either weapon or a tool rack, not like an orb. It looks like it's meant to hold something longer. It's about the
You
width
don't-
of maybe 4 feet between the two, so something quite long.
you don't think so, do you?
I don't usually, but I can if you'd like.
Also, have you seen the chat? But Bodilgay is literally wearing a shirt that
Yeah.
says "I got your back" with a skeleton holding a spine. Amazing.
Perfect. Perfect. I need that shirt. You don't think that The spear. This is where its resting place should be.
You're better than I am.
Is this where you meant to return it?
It very well might be. Fate may have put us in the right direction. I'm
Well.
gonna take the spear and walk up to it.
You walk up to the sarcophagus, holding the sun spear in your hand, glowing warm radiance as the gold reflects in the light. You hold it up and out. What are you doing with it?
I'm gonna set it in.
You place it
But keep my hand on it as well.
on the rack
Yeah, set it on there, but still hold it.
as you hear the metal clink on the stone. Zinnia, you and Summer, as you're back there. Finally, your spell finishes up as this warm red glow fades from your hand, almost like a will-o-wisp going into her chest. As she does, she kind of breathes out, and several other will-o-wisps fly around and fly over to other people. I know Prayer of Healing says the distance, but we're going to say it's still counted for those that were around you at the time, so I'm not going to give you a penalty for them going off and checking. The will-o-wisps fly off over towards your friends to heal them up. Those of you who got the healing have got the healing now at this point. As she kind of... she kind of scrambles back in her seat. Says, she holds her hands up. Who are they? She looks at her husband. She's like, relax. They're the ones that we saw on the center bus. They're fine. They healed you. They brought you. I was worried I would lose you. And he leans over and hugs her, and she hugs back. But she's still able to look at you two and kind of looks you up and down. And how did you all survive the sandstorm?
We were
We're not-
ostriches.
Yeah, we're not really sure. We got buried. We ostriched it. How did you get here? Did we ask you that? How did you get in here? Did you just run? What was?
This place revealed itself in the storm. We ran here to seek shelter from that thing, just to get out as quick as possible. And then we ran, and thank you. I owe you.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe a little. Is anyone else thinking it's weird that like this big god creature came out, created a dust storm, and then we all just so happened to end up in this tomb? Like, it's a bit convenient, isn't it? Do you think we were led here?
The two kind of look at each other. It was quite a storm. I think that the sand just blew off of this thing. As we're going to go back to Team Salt and Robert. Team, as you place your spear onto there, you, Salt, and Robert suddenly see 3 red flames heading your way. As you, before you even have time to stop it, you feel yourselves rejuvenated and invigorated. However, as you do so, you still hold your hand on the spear and you look back looking for something to change. And nothing seems to be happening. As you pull the spear off, place it back down one more time, pull it off. Nothing seems to be reacting.
No, I can tell you it is not the spear.
I feel invigorated.
Well,
But yes, I feel good too.
I
The
could
spear did
archaeology more.
something. I felt so much better.
Wait, what if? And the team's gonna put the spear back on there. A couple times it's like,
Maybe it's a one-time thing.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
kink, 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 kink,
This
kink,
looks
kink,
like you're
kink.
trying.
But like trying to bash the stone in, basically.
I do not think it works more than once.
I mean, it works.
It's a
It's
shame
good.
the
It's a
others
spear.
were not here for this healing. This rejuvenation.
It seems that your cleric was working something on her own, so hopefully she can heal the rest of the group.
Hopefully.
Well, this is nothing. As Robert begins to turn and head back out the room towards the others.
Is the sarcophagus still openable?
I don't know. You want to try?
I could
We'll
never
help you.
lift it in 1,000 teams.
in one elephant's worth of strength.
I will help you.
Do you try and push the lid off?
Look at me going and desecrating tombs.
Look at you. Right,
Look at me.
you and Salt go to push the lid off the sarcophagus, the stone lid there. I need a strength check from both of you.
That would be 11.
11 and
And that is a 17.
17.
I
Robert
think
turns
Pepper will
back,
jump
seeing
in
you
and help
all
us.
beginning to push. However, Salt, you're kind of pushing, but Team, with your strength, you're able to push the other end off as you kind of hear that kind of familiar stone moving sound that everybody knows from every video game. As you push it onto the side, a puff of dusty air kind of falls out, stagnant as if here for 1,000 years or more. You see the
Sounds like
feet
home.
wrapped in cloth, much like the ones dangling off your side, old, brown, and nearly petrified.
Friend of yours?
At that, we'll pause, go back to Zinnia and Summer, as female tiefling. Oh, did you see who? Was that you all making the noise before?
What noise?
No, we just got here.
At that, you all hear as you feel the pyramid shake, and you can hear and see some sand between some of the sandstone fall. Team, Salt, Robert, everyone kind of looks up as the sand falls, as the pyramid rumbles once, as if a great door had been knocked. And that is where we will stop it for tonight and leave it for next week.
I just healed everyone. Now you're gonna kill us with whatever vampire you might have woken up or whatever. Open a portal
It
to
is old
somewhere.
friend. This is probably my brother.
This
I'm
isn't.
just archaeologicing, okay?
Oh,
This is
I'm
how
Team. This is my brother, Met. No problem. Oh, fantastic. This was a super fun session, everybody. I thoroughly enjoyed the RP of it all.
Oh my god. I've so
we
much.
have a giveaway to give away, don't we?
We
Oh,
do.
yeah.
Let's give away the last set of dice. Let's pull it back up so that... Let's show them what they're going to win, Alex. Let's see. Let me pull up
What are
the,
they gonna win?
They're going to win these amazing new dice from Xenia. Jackie. Woo!
Pity.
Make sure you get your entries in. We're going to end the giveaway at 11. We'll say it stops right at the very end of the stream, and then we'll call it from there. But thank you.
I want to enter for these dice.
I know, actually, I do too.
Make
They're all better
sure
than anything I've got.
Make sure you're following the channel, guys. That's the only prerequisite that we have, is that you have clicked that follow button, and then you can do your exclamation point LUD
Lud.
to get your entries in.
Try and get yourself some nice little click-clacks in the next minute, so make sure that you have entered for that. And also, thank you for everybody for being such an active participant in this the whole time. What I do want to say, for those doing the LUD thing, for everybody else, I need 2 tiefling names, quick. A male and a female tiefling name, and I will use that for next session. So if you have already done your LUD, go ahead and give me a male and tiefling, or male and female tiefling names, ASAP Amundo, and I will use those next time. Throd, Skamos.
Because they're about to join the
Urlark.
party.
To answer the question in the chat, yes. This is a gemstone shaped D8. I made it in Blender and then printed it with my 3D printer. And
Oh,
then
so
it was
awesome.
here.
pretty.
So, yeah.
So pretty.
You talented little thing.
Oh, thanks. Quarantine
She's
habits.
the most talented.
Hobbies, you know.
Look at her go.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work, practice,
So good.
sweat and tears.
Might show some Blender if I me and Serenity get a spot on LUD. We might show some Blender.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You just have to give us the word. We got one waiting for you, Jackie.
I would watch it.
On her. You get on her.
All right.
All right, okay. We have about a minute left until this giveaway is finishing. Can I do a little bit of it? We have got the Red Wagon Inn emote
Ooh.
for tier 3 subscribers. So let me chuck it back out there. It's gonna get lost because everyone's entering stuff, but I'm gonna chuck it out there anyway. There you go.
Hot stuff.
And there have been suggestions in the chat as well that people would like to see a twin tig emote. And
I've got
also-
some from the Discord that I can throw up for y'all to use. I've got the twin tig doing the chef's kiss emote.
Well, I think the specific request was in a red wagon, but
dope.
we are. What I think we might do is set a sub goal for that. So keep posted. We'll give you more information on that next week, and
Y'all are the
we will
bosses.
also we'll also work on a
I would wear
GFY
that as a shirt.
Right. I would too.
because
GFY.
I know people are hungry for a GFY emote as well. So
I'm sure.
we hear you, Pat. We hear you.
And I swear we're not thinking of doing merch for you guys.
No. Sure.
No, I wouldn't accidentally drop that into
We
a
would
conversation.
never.
That's not an Alex thing, no.
We're
I've
just gonna
got the
turn-
2 names, by the way, from Macho Pug. I like Thrad for the male tiefling, and I like Siri for the female tiefling, specifically so that I can implement some "Hey Siri" and mess with people's phones throughout the whole
Oh
time.
my
I'll
God.
take the GFY. I don't care. I love it.
Can't get me to have a Google
You can take
girl.
mine off me.
Tyrannus PT said, "Don't name the tieflings. They'll get killed by the DM."
Name it, please.
Real.
I didn't kill anybody. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's give away
Alright.
some dice. And I have one
Yeah.
final thing that I want to tease, but I won't say it until after the dice are done. So let's give away some dice real quick.
The
Right.
D4 is also gemstone shaped. Just letting you guys know.
Ooh.
Our
pretty.
logo's on the top.
Collected
Coolest
space.
forever.
Oh, hey, collected space.
space.
Fantastic. I didn't know we were pulling. Yay, collected space.
Sorry.
Love it.
Congrats.
Hey,
Drum roll.
congratulations,
Congrats.
collected.
Collected space. Woohoo! I will
Congratulations.
send a message right now so I don't forget.
Yes.
Fantastic. Good job there. And last bit of news, a secret little plug. In 2 weeks, we have a rather important guest coming on, but I can't say who. So tune in again in 2 weeks.
Goodness.
Such a surprise.
Even I don't know who it is, unless I do. I don't know.
You do know.
Yeah, we didn't tell you, Jackie.
We're very excited about it. Right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching and tuning into the Red Wagon Inn. We'll see you next week, same time. We've got more dice and more things to give away and more time to hang out with y'all and get characters killed. So thank you, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic evening.
See you next
Bye.
week.